The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation.
Hey friends, how you doing? It's your girl. Is that a thing that women say? Do they go, it's your girl? They do that. I've really got to update my graphics, by the way. I have been I've been meaning to look at my graphics and give them like a bit of a sprucing up. I have a new idea I want to go with. Hello, Uncle Fester. How you doing? Welcome in everybody to the Rogue Room. I'm your host, Rogue Bitch. I'm still clinging to that idea that maybe in the back of my mind I'm thinking one day I'm gonna get an email from Twitch saying your account has been banned, and they'll say that it's because of an inappropriate username. I'm still like, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but there's still a part of me in the back of my head that's nagging saying, change your username before they get you, Abby. Hello, Kaz, how you doing? Hello, Reverend Dell. Welcome in, everyone. You're all so lovely being here. Can I say that? You all look lovely tonight. I can't see you at all. I don't have cameras hidden all around the world. I couldn't afford that to spy on you. Just know that you look gorgeous tonight. Okay. Just found your stream randomly, Gummy. Well, welcome in. We've only just literally started. Call it Rogue Abby. My PS4 name is because I couldn't. PS4 has protections in place. I couldn't use this username, so I went by Abby Rogue. ABI Rogue. Add me on there if you want. I never play anything, so you know I'm probably not going to accept friend requests. Look at the corner view. You're watching stream from there. Oh, okay. Is that what the light is? Okay, that would explain a lot. Those are some cool emotes, Lady of the Pizza, by the way. I thought they were little flowers at first, but no, they're just little triangles of hearts. Little pride hearts. Either way, awesome little lights coming through your iPhone. Lying on the couch trying to recover from a near meltdown, but you're sure you look okay-ish. You always look gorgeous. Hello, Spooky. Good morning. Detroit. There you go, you ruined my lip gloss. Thanks for that, by the way. I just pardon me while I wipe the lip gloss off my finger with my gay tissues. These are incredibly gay tissues. More lip gloss ruining. It's not going to stay on. Now the legs are okay today. My back is still aching, but I'm not going to do a standing stream tonight. The goal, you know, if I, yeah, it's 10-minute cooldown. It's your favorite German. Fellow trans woman Mona. Oh, Mona G. I think I follow them. Do I? Yes. Someone recommended me to them, and I think. Let me check. Is it who I'm thinking of? I believe we've raided them before. Yes, we've raided them before. They're super cool. Mona is super cool.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room, Gummy. How you doing, by the way? Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. You're in hopefully one of the chillest places on Twitch. I'm thinking of making a dumb decision when I get paid. I really shouldn't. I really need to, you know, focus on saving my money. But my usual income that I get is going to be going up slightly tomorrow when I get paid. Which means I have a little bit of money. I have a little bit of money set aside that I could finally get the light strips for this shelving unit. And I'm contemplating it. They're not that much. There's a pack of 4 light strips, which I've already bought in the past, which, you know how I showed you the paneling on the wall where it's like been peeled off? It's that exact packet. There's 4 strips. There are 4 shelves there that I could stick a light on each. And I'm going to get connectors. And I'm not sure if I want to put the panels behind the shelves or like on the inside of these little bits here. But I want to put lighting on those shelves next as my next little lighting overhaul thing. And I reckon it'd look fucking cool. And in addition to that, I'm also going to need to buy connectors to go between those. Which is why I kind of want to put them at the back, so you can hide the connectors and stuff. We'll see how we go. What's on the agenda today? Well, I want to talk about sociology a bit. We are just looking at the Wikipedia page right now. But I have gotten accepted. That's the main thing. I got accepted into my Bachelor's of Sociology, or Social Science, with a major in Sociology and Anthropology. That's what I'm doing this year, and next year, and the year after that. Is it buying into the new Digimon TCG? Is there a new Digimon TCG? You're doing pretty good. I'm glad to hear it. I do have coffee. I don't have to leave. Oh, I don't have water though, so don't hydrate me. I'm just going to ignore them. Hello, Killax. Wait your turn. I'm not surprised I got in, honestly, but I was expecting that I might not. It was kind of a coin toss. I was worried that I wouldn't get in because I sort of left it too late to change. I didn't leave it too late. Like it felt like I was leaving it too late. But say, for example, I don't know how university goes with you guys over in other countries and whatnot, or other areas even. But here, at least where I am, the university I'm going to, the way that they do it is they give you sign up with something called the University Admissions something or other, UAC. Basically the people that go to Mars in Doom and get obliterated. So hopefully I'm not one of those people. But they give you the option to choose 5 different degrees you want to go into, and you sort them by your preference. And my original first preference was architecture. And after some consideration, I ended up dropping that one entirely. I looked into architecture a bit, and it seems to be largely operated by fairly conservative people. I'm like, I don't want to go into that. And I've developed a much more passion for the things that sociology covers. So much so that I've decided that's what I'm going into. We're going to major in sociology and anthropology. That's going to be fun. I'll hydrate shortly. So anyway, do I wear a sports bra to the gym? Who asked that? Azera. You're super insecure about going to a public gym where you can't hide your non-passing ass in androgynous clothes and a mask. Oh my goodness. German, thank you for that. Well, yeah, take a few minutes out. Oh, we'll posture check a bit. Because you are being rather crude, Killax. You are welcome here, but you need to chill out a bit. Might want to get too many degrees. You might burn. Stop that. How you doing, not Bobby? What do we call you? Should we call you Robert instead? Student power. I've done TAFE though. I've been in that situation. TAFE was fun. I enjoy TAFE. Yeah, you can be Robert. Sure, why not? I occasionally, on the subject, coming back to your question, Azera, I occasionally wear a sports bra to the gym if I'm feeling it. Because I sometimes wear a tank top. I like wearing a tank top to the gym, and if I wear a tank top, I don't want anything slipping out. Because back when my nipples weren't offensive, that would happen occasionally, because I would wear big baggy tank tops that looked a bit oversized, especially now. Like, some of them used to actually fit, and now they're oversized, considering I've lost so much weight. So I do tend to wear them to the gym, but largely I mostly wear t-shirts and shorts, so it's not that big of a deal if I don't wear one. But I suppose, it's to each their own. Hey Zomrive, how you doing? You're so proud of me with my degree. Well, we gotta get it first. What does that say? I'm not saying that until I know what it says. Okay, I'm Googling this. Hang on. There is an X next to your name because you're a subscriber. You all look very beautiful. Okay, it's the subscriber icon, yeah. Little pixelated X, like the one in my name, as you can see up here. Vous tout avance très bien. Très bien. Yeah, we've had a few gift subs lately. As you can see, my very reasonable sub goal is now set to 100 because we keep getting mass gift sub bombs. I'm certain. I am certain I've hit 100 subs before at some point in the past. Let's see if we can get there again. But according to what I've found according to what Twitch Tracker says, and this information is not necessarily entirely accurate. It says I've never hit 100 subs, which is not correct. It says the peak was 87, and I'm like, that's not right. Well, that's tier 1. Maybe it's... I don't know. I'm sure I've had over 100 in the past. A while back. Well, I haven't got my degree yet. I got accepted into my degree, so we are going to be studying this year. Fingers crossed full time. Thank you, Quintastico. We're going to be doing sociology, or social science with a major in sociology. For those of you who are not aware what exactly sociology is, it's the study of social behavior, society, patterns of social relationships, social interaction, and culture that surrounds everyday life, effectively. You're eating pods. I hope you mean the chocolates and not Tide Pods. You guys remember the Tide Pod challenge? That was fucking weird. I was, I showed my mother and auntie Chubby Emu's video about the kids who were eating the Tide Pods.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
AGT003, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. Yeah, the Tide Pod challenge was absolutely massively fucked up. I haven't actually picked up any of the cheaper books yet. No, I have not. I haven't picked up any books. I want to. Fantastico, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. Friends did the Tide Pod shit. Safe to say they're no longer your friends. Here's the thing, though, right? It's like they put... Did they actually eat it? Because the video that Chubby Emu put out details the incident where someone actually ate it. Actually, do you guys remember we did... They bit into it. Okay, so the story goes that apparently one kid actually bit into it and tried to chew it and swallow it and all that, and it was an absolute disaster. Oh my god, Kez!
You are now one of us.
For goodness sake. Alright, let's go to the sub lounge then. Thank you for gifting a sub to Glasstree, Lady of the Pizza, Detroit, Batman, Barrett, C9, and Sienna 2002. Holy hecking schnitzel. Let me get stream labels up because I haven't got it activated at the moment. Come Couch Lounge. Actually, let me plug my headphones in because it's going to reverberate, I think. How did that happen? I don't know. Enjoy your emotes, folks. Enjoy your ad-free viewing. And when time rolls around, remember to resub. Thank you so much, Kez. There we go. I can hear the music more clearly now. Let me turn the volume down just a tad.
You are now one of us.
It's just going to keep going, you are now one of us. And it keeps saying, Kez, you can now enter the subscriber lounge. Once I figure out how to fix that, I'll fix it. But for right now, I'm not going to bother.
You are now one of us.
Why are they not your friends anymore? Are they dead, or did you just not like going around with them anymore? Yeah, I wouldn't want to be friends with people who would jump on such an absolutely obviously dumb social trend. Do you remember? And I wish... This is the unfortunate thing about... the unfortunate thing about deleting all my old content that I had on my YouTube channel is I had a really good video about a really dumb trend. And I still feel really passionate about this particular thing because it quite upset me. The TikTok Autism Challenge. Do you remember that? I still got that video on my hard drive, but it was like one of my best performing videos on my YouTube channel before I deleted all of those, before I deleted all that content. Hey Animal Mom, how you doing? So for those who are unaware, you know, I used to have a whole bunch of videos where I would go over a bunch of stupid social shit that people would do typically. That was the road I was going down with those videos, at least. Radio Lady of the Pizza, have a good one. Get some sleep. Have a good rest. So the TikTok Autism Challenge, there was a stupid song. Oh my goodness. Kez, another gift sub. To I'm Not Bobby. Not this one. We'll come back to reading about sociology in a minute. Hello, Miserabella. Another sub. I think I need to go and turn my aircon on. I'm kind of sweating a bit. Yeah, give me a sec. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the TikTok Autism Challenge, because I deleted this video and I wouldn't mind revisiting the topic, but it's kind of irrelevant now. It's months and months ago. So, oops. The TikTok Autism Challenge. I'm hoping, I think I need to move that light bulb over there. It's like right, for those of you who are not aware, I have a light like right there, behind my door, which is supposed to be casting pink light down on me. It doesn't really work, but you get the sensation there's a light there. You get a bit of aesthetic. I might move that one somewhere else. I don't know where else I can put it. Anyway, TikTok Autism Challenge. Let's revisit this because I'm autistic, and we can talk about the Sia thing Sia took the TikTok autism challenge way too far. Let me go through my script. It's still on my hard drive. Actually, I've considered uploading my manuscripts from back when I did my old content. And I wouldn't mind doing that style of content again if we could find the right kind of stuff to do commentary on. Where is it? YouTube videos? Oh no, you know what? I think I've moved all of those onto a separate hard drive, so they're not on this hard drive anymore. The basic gist of the situation... I would like some of your margarita, actually, yes. The gist of the situation was back months and months ago. Maybe 9-10 months ago, I would estimate, perhaps. Howdy, Rena, how you doing? There was a challenge going around TikTok, and the song that was used in this was particularly ableist as well, because it was a song about the guy had a dance that he was doing, right? And he was saying like, bring your elbow up, act like you broke your wrist, and then bring it to your chest, and then like, you know, like seize around a bit. Like that was his idea of this is a dance I am going to make. Clever fuckwit he is. And the song picked up a bit of traction on TikTok, and there were a bunch of people mimicking the dance moves. Here's the absolute kicker of the whole thing. So anyway, like there was a bunch of people acting like dickheads to this song, being as fucking ableist as humanly possible. TikTok Autism Challenge. Apology. I don't know what the guy's name was. I cannot remember. Let's have a look here. Is this the bloke? No, that's not him. And yeah, TikTok shut down. Here we go. May 19. Here we go. This is the story, right? TikTok removes hashtag autism challenge from platform amid backlash. In the challenge, users move and make facial expressions that appear to mock individuals with disabilities. The latest challenge to gain attention on the popular TikTok app is drawing anger and frustration from the autism community and beyond. Videos marked with the hashtag autism challenge, the hashtag #autism challenge, gained attention earlier this month as individuals with autism and their families began seeing the clips and expressing outrage on social media. The videos, background music plays while TikTok users move and make facial expressions that appear to be mocking individuals with disabilities. As someone who has autism, Asperger's syndrome, and hurts me to see people doing this as a joke, wrote one Twitter user, I hope for people that did the challenge to be educated and learn that this is wrong. It really was. It was really, truly atrocious, and I lambasted it. And regrettably, that video is no longer on my channel. It's on a separate hard drive, stuffed away somewhere, and that was one of the best performing videos on my channel for the record. Had over 14,000 views at the time I deleted it. But yeah, the thing that really pisses me off, not so much the challenge, because that's just a bunch of dickheads being sheep. Let's be honest. That's just a bunch of morons on a popular social media platform mimicking a challenge. The real issue I primarily have is with the guy who made the song, and I'm trying to find... I hope that there's a reference to the guy in here. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep reading this. John loves anime. I just found out about the hashtag autism challenge, and I just let out all of my anger. As someone who has autism, Asperger's syndrome, it hurts me to see people doing this as a joke and get clout. I hope people that did the challenge to be educated and learn this is wrong. We'll watch his video.
What is up, people? I am very mad, and I'm about to close my microwave door because I was heating my lunch. But I really want to get this off my chest.
That's hugely important, by the way.
Because there has been videos. People share me videos of people doing something on TikTok, which I don't fucking like.
I don't fucking like it either, dude.
What I'm referring to is that there's this challenge called the Autism Challenge, where people do a TikTok video where they play the song Let's Get Retarded and do fucking...
Okay, that's important. That's crucial. Alright, so hang on. It's not the Black Eyed Peas song. It is not the Black Eyed Peas song. There's another person who made another song that was recent, that was relevant at the time. Right? And maybe it was... Is it this one? No, that's not it. That's the problem, is like if you look the song up, You're not going... Here, created by Dub Silence. Here we go. This is the dickhead. Here. Here's a playlist. Let me see if I can... Is this him? I can't... Okay. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find the, I'm trying to find the actual song. Fuck, I don't know. This is the problem, is I don't know what the artist name was because he's an irrelevant piece of shit. But anyway, let's not watch the rest of that video. You get the gist. Don't use TikTok and never will. How vile and disgusting to have a hashtag autism challenge. I fight every day for my son's right to be seen as equal. And with one stupid TikTok, you could have taken all that away. I don't think there's a reference to the actual creator of the song. But honestly, I don't think this guy even has copyright. He's some indie musician. And the issue was, of course, you know, you have tons and tons of people on TikTok doing these dances all the time. So they took this one and just went with it. And yeah, the situation was this particular song, the one that blew up and created the challenge in the first place. The guy released an apology video. He released an apology video, and I don't know if I could find it. You could try looking on YouTube, see if there's if you try looking hashtag autism challenge TikTok, you might find, like, you find a whole bunch of people ripping into the autism challenge. But, oh, I know, I mean, like, DMCA specifically, is what I mean. Like, I don't think he's going to DMCA strike me. But I can't find the actual video that the guy put out, and his explanation for why he thought it was okay to release this song, his apology for why it was okay was he has. Oh, hang on a sec. Alright, sorry. I have returned. I'm back. Alright, let's revise really quickly. So for those of you who are unaware, back in around May or April or something along those lines, there was a challenge on TikTok where people were making... you know when Donald Trump made fun of the reporter doing this? That was basically the TikTok autism challenge. There was a song called Let's Get Retarded, which is not the Black Eyed Peas song, but if you try to look up Let's Get Retarded song, you're gonna find the Black Eyed Peas song and not this guy's other song. And it sounds like dog shit, for the record. Let's get that out of the way. The song sounds like absolute dog shit. The TikTok Autism Challenge blew up on social media. Tons and tons of people were talking about this. I don't know why my music is so quiet. It is playing. Okay. There were tons of articles, tons of videos. Everyone was pissed off. I think I found out about it through Steven Spawn, otherwise known as Steve in Spawn. He's a Twitch streamer, disability advocate, all that. Great guy. In fact, I think the TikTok Autism Challenge is how I found Steven Spawn. And to follow up on that, you did do a hydrate. Give me a sec. So yeah, we're catching up now. We're doing the whole revise the whole topic thing. I did a video on the TikTok Autism Challenge, which was getting me at the time I deleted it, which probably was a mistake. I should have left it up there for the watch time. Honestly, had around 15,000 views. And it was still climbing. It was one of my best performing videos for reasons that escape me. From there, yeah, the thing that happened after the fact, after it all blew up, and after everybody was really fucking pissed off at it, and the guy who made the song releases an apology video where he's like, oh, I've got a cousin or something who's retarded. He actually refers to the kid as retarded, and he's like, oh, and he does this, and he sits in a wheelchair or something, I don't know, and he's not all there mentally, and he's like, oh, and he found the song cool, and he thought the challenge was funny. It's like, it's not a validation of you spreading ableism. It's not a validation of you enabling ableism. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He did the whole sorry to anyone who's upset thing. Like, sorry if you didn't like it. But anyway, TikTok eventually took the challenge down as a response to everything. And that's where we are today. In essence, the moral of the story is I lost hundreds of hours of watch time on my YouTube channel. There you go. But yeah, really stupid, ableist bullshit. Which just, like, again, I keep bringing up this point. It definitely feels like ableism is one of those things where it's like it's completely okay in a lot of people's minds to make fun of disabled people. They see us as like these class clown types. Not class clown types. They see us as this court jester type, I should say. So I've got fucking tons of foundation in my eyebrow somehow. I did not do that. I don't... The fuck? Anyway. Don't put foundation in your eyebrow, kids. But yeah, I keep coming back to this point over and over again. It seems like people look at anyone who's got any sort of disability, any sort of mental illness, any sort of physical disability, people who have autism, anyone who's neurodivergent, anyone who's socially divergent in any way, and sees them as a legible target. And I think one of the worst things about making fun of disabled people, one of the worst things about taking people who have severe disabilities that impact their lives and hinder their ability to essentially be normal. Like, there are a lot of people with certain disabilities that are just not able to be invisible. I'm autistic as heck, but I'm one of those autistic people that's like, when I mention it in conversation, people will bring it up to me. It's like, you're autistic? Really? Like, they don't understand what autism is. Whereas there's a bunch of people who have much more severe autism that shows in a number of physical ways. You can look at them and you can see them. And people look at folks like that and they see them as the lesser. They see them as inferior. And thus, because they see them as inferior, they feel like they're free to point and laugh. And this was a perfect example of that very thing. And obviously more than likely influenced by the whole Donald Trump making fun of the reporter thing. People would, and I'm not saying all of the people who did the autism challenge were Trump supporters, but I think there was definitely no small amount of people around the time this challenge was going around, because TikTok is very popular with a younger audience, generally speaking. I dare say there's quite a few people who would have looked at like Donald Trump as the president and thought, haha, he's the funny meme orange man. They didn't care about the politics of Donald Trump particularly, and they saw, the president of the United States did this. Therefore, it's acceptable for us to do this, to make fun of autistic people and to make fun of any other disabled people. It's ridiculous. I hate the way people just feel free to write off other people's experiences for a joke. If your idea of humor is to take somebody else's position in the world, somebody else's, not regarding wealth, for the record, not regarding rich people. We're allowed to punch up, but the moment you punch down, your humor leaves a lot to be desired. You know, if your only idea of making a joke is to say, I find this particular group of people, typically a minority or a disenfranchised group in some way, shape, or form, you're a cunt, is the most delightful way that I can put it. If your idea of making a joke requires you to make a target out of somebody who, generally speaking, can't fight back, is the primary issue here. Is like they'll pick an easy target that, generally speaking, if they try to lash out, if anyone, like let's just say, for example, that's why right-wing comedy is just humorless. Exactly, Steven Crowder. A good example would be you've got someone like Ricky Gervais. Emmanuel can't. You got someone like Ricky Gervais. This was illustrated by ContraPoints in the Darkness, where she talks about the fact that she shows a clip of him going on stage and telling the joke that he now identifies as a chimp, and his name is Bobo. He would like to be referred to as Bobo, and he identifies as a chimp. Very, very baseline attack helicopter joke, attacking the trans community. What do you think's going to happen when the trans community decides to lash out at Ricky Gervais over that joke? Ricky Gervais has a significant following of millions of people across the world. Everyone knows who Ricky Gervais is, and a lot of people find Ricky Gervais's comedy funny, and to his credit, he has had some good bits. I can see why he's popular. But the moment that you have a minority like the transgender community getting upset at that, and lashing out at that, and saying those kind of things online, his audience is going to barrack against those people. You see it constantly on Facebook, on Twitter, on any sort of social media. The moment that you say, hey, that joke was kind of not good, and kind of just uses trans identity to just completely mock and deride the entire concept with no respect to us whatsoever, and the kinds of people who will respond with things like, oh, but anything can be comedy. The issue with if you take the stance of anything can be comedy is that how often are these same kind of people gonna make a joke that actually, like, say, for example, offends white people? Especially white men. How often are they going to make a joke that offends white men? They can make a ton of jokes against white men, believe me, but here's the thing that I've noticed specifically about types like Isaac Butterfield, for example. When they do make a joke about white people, they tend to make a joke about white SJW types. They don't make a joke about blokes who enjoy the footy and driving their car around and shit. They don't make a joke about status quo white people. They pick, again, some kind of minority version of white people. They pick they pick an easy target that everyone in their following can go, ha ha ha, that's funny because you're stupid and I don't understand you. So, this is why comedy bad. Anyway, it's why we're so mad at Sia. She's doing the same thing. They use their fans as a weapon against accountability. They do. They absolutely do. And let's talk about this now. Let's talk about Sia. Let's move into this. We'll add this into the discussion. Because somebody mentioned there was a thread talking about, speaking of the Golden Globes, Sia's film Music has been nominated for a Golden Globe Award. On the subject, I'll actually have to watch Gervais's Golden Globe stuff, because, like I said, this is the thing, I don't disagree. I have got a pretty bad posture at the moment. Thank you, Fox. I don't disagree with most of Gervais's work. I think it's actually not bad. Straighten your back, neck, shoulders back, chest out, nipples. Since everyone gets angry over racial jokes, you only make jokes about old white men who's really rational and whose skins are really thick. I know. Hello, Broken. How you doing? Let me just quickly check something before we proceed with the conversation here. Review requests queue. Why is there already 30 in here? We've got 3 hydrates. Okay, so 3 seconds of hydration. That's what you get. We did that one. We did the posture check. We did that one. Oh, you did a poll suggest. All right, Fox, here you go. I mean, it's not really relevant because only one of these is active. But maybe some of you could enlighten me as to why Vine was popular in the first place, because that's basically what TikTok is. TikTok is just Vine, but newer. Hey, Thrillers, how's it going? What's going on? We are talking about autism, ableism, comedy, and all of that fun shit. We were going to discuss my degree that I'm going into this year, but we'll come back around to that. This has been a good discussion. It's been good to get my head empty about these particular things. What am I missing? Not that. I did have the... Here it is. Mark is complete. Posture check. Hydrate. Suggest a poll. Done. There we go. You literally have no say. What do you mean you have no say? Oh, in TikTok or Vine? I'm just going to put TikTok because the TikTok autism video got me 15,000 views. I believe the term is neurodivergent. Non-neurotypical is either neurodivergent or neuroatypical. Why are we picking what in the poll? There's a TikTok or Vine poll. I never had Vine. I never knew Vine existed until it was dead. It was like a big hubbub about, oh, Vine is being shut down. I'm like, oh. Well, shit. Sorry. This is kind of why I regret not getting into TikTok. I've uploaded a few TikToks, but I just don't get the platform. I don't have the capacity to put content on there. I don't know what to do. I literally just... I've tried my damnedest to do sketch-based, short-form, less than a minute length content, and I just can't do it. The amount of effort required to get everything into a small segment content where it's actually engaging and entertaining, I cannot do it. I don't know what it is. We're at a solid 50-50. You got like 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds to vote. If someone hasn't voted on TikTok or Vine, pick now. Adorably neurodivergent. Yeah, ND is the most common term you've seen, yeah. Sounds about right. TikTok hid so much fucking disability content because they only wanted good looking people. That's another thing. We could go into that. There we go. TikTok's winning. 6 votes. And TikTok is the winner of the poll. There you have it. Too old to have used Vine, and TikTok doesn't make your brain go, ooh, yeah. I'm 31. I don't have time for TikTok. Also, the unfortunate issue with, like, the fact that, I don't know whether it's the fact that I've lost weight, I don't know if it's the fact that I've had facial laser done, I don't know if it's the estrogen or whatever, but I keep getting carded when I go to the fucking liquor store, and it's been making me avoid buying wine, because they keep carding me, and I don't look like me on my card. Awkward. I can't get shit-faced. They keep carding me. I'm gonna have to get someone to go and buy alcohol for me nowadays. Until I can get my card photo changed. TikTok has some nice art videos. Well, I might have to give those a look. I look younger, true. I always have, honestly. Like, even before. I've always looked younger than whatever I am. I had somebody when I was working at my old job. I was like 29 at the time. And, what was it? They asked me what year I was in. I was training a new guy at work, and they were like, what year are you in? I was like, I do not look that young. I'm sorry, friendo, but like, what? In regards to the R-Station shirts, he believed they were made by a guy who himself has a physical disability, which begs to... Oh, the retard station. Yes, that's made by... Here's the thing. There are a few slurs I will use in a contextual sense. Let me clarify that right now. I know I have used the term slur. I know I've used... Now I don't want to say it. The F slur. I've used that on stream. The only one I won't touch is any racial slurs. Because I speak about them in a contextual manner. I don't use them as an insult, obviously. Believe they were made by Ricky Berwick, who's physically disabled and maybe mentally, I don't know what his situation is. But his content is all based around that thing. He's got so much flack for it, yeah. Understandable, though, like... people are gonna react like that no matter what. And yes, I've got coffee. I've got a vanilla latte. It's quite nice. Took a while to get into TikTok, but you're hooked now and you're 39. Well, there you go. How in God's name do I look 17? I mean, that's the question, isn't it? It's like, people are really carding me. I mean, maybe it's just because I've seen some older looking teenagers, honestly. I've seen some, like, especially dudes. There have been, if they grow facial hair, I've seen like 17-year-old dudes who grow a mustache and all of a sudden they gain like 10 years in age. So, you know, the way that we look at people and judge their age is very all over the place. Why have I got my door closed? Hang on. I've turned my aircon on. And Last Anxiety, hello, how you doing? I've got my aircon on and my door is closed. It's a latte. We're going alright, we're doing well. We were talking about the TikTok Autism Challenge from last year, and we're going over that now. What does my outfit look like? It's a, I don't want to get up, so I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to do something. Let me see here. I'm going to do something for you. Here you go. Not that one. Okay, let me make my life a little bit easier. So I don't have to stand up, because I don't want to stand up. There you go. That's what my outfit looks like. It's a photo from tonight. It's a little playsuit thing. It's quite dainty. I like it. I want more of these now. Yes, we were talking about autism. We were talking about the TikTok Autism Challenge from about April last year, and now we're sort of moving on to Sia. We're kind of moving on to the whole Sia's Music movie, which has been nominated for a Golden Globe. And there's more of this story. There's a tweet thread here that sort of goes into the problems with the movie. It does call into question, can you be disabled and be ableist? Can you also be racist to your own group of people? I think you absolutely can. Outfit looks too cute. Thank you. I love it. I thought it was a dress at first, and then I got home, and I just sort of let it sit there for a bit, and then like the next day, I was like, oh, I should probably try that on, you know. I know it fits. It was, you know, my size or a bit bigger. And then I pick it up, and I'm like, oh, hang on. There's no dressy bit at the bottom. I went and looked at the bottom of it, and it's like, these are shorts. I'm like, now I've got this cute playsuit, and I'm like, yeah, I'll live for this. This is some seriously chill energy. I like it. Have a severely autistic son. How does that affect your life, if you don't mind my asking? How's that? How are you coping with that? Because as someone who's autistic myself, I know for a fact that I did make my mother's life hell when I was growing up, because I had a number of triggers that would set me off into an and this is what I worry about with my daughter as well. She's had these moments where it's like it's impossible to calm her down, and I had that whole, you know, I'd get into freak out, what are they called? Episodes. And in one particular instance, this is kind of traumatic, but not really. I put my fist through a window during a meltdown. And lacerated my wrist in 2 spots. I've still got scars there. Because a storm was freaking me out. There was a storm, and I was like, I can't handle all the lightning and the thunder and the heavy rain. I was banging on the window, and I just put my fist through it. I wasn't rational. I had like no rationality in my head at the time. So that's an example of how badly my autism has affected me growing up. I don't really have that kind of reaction nowadays. I've become a lot better at controlling any sort of episodes I have. I have to get really pushed to my absolute limit before I start to break, and there's no way to bring me back down again for a bit. It can get quite severe. You're growing your lockdown hair out, so you're going to need to teach you the magic of hair bows. This is tricky. I usually put my hair up in a ponytail, and then I do the hair bow up first, careful not to catch strands of hair in it because that hurts, and then put it down again, and then give it a bit of a brush so that it sort of flows and sits nice. Room looks and feels like a cozy, safe place. I hope so. That's what I want. I want this to feel like a cozy, safe place, but it needs more lights. We got to get more lights. Had severe emotional control issues when you were younger. Should you look into that? It could be an idea to look into it if you think it would be beneficial to you. You're a fun autistic child, too. Oh, it's so much fun. It's delightful. Having a low to mid-functioning week this week. You're so scared of having a meltdown, especially at work. I know the feeling. There were so many times at the job I used to work at where I was this close to having a meltdown, and I had to push it all down as hard as I could. One of the big things that honestly helped me significantly with my more extreme autistic behaviors was starting going to the gym, starting my fitness routine. It gave me something to focus on, and it's gotten to the point where I think fitness is a hyper focus of mine. I cannot live without it, and I'm constantly thinking about it, and I'm constantly and I've considered going into study for that, but sociology feels like it appeals more to me. So anyway, used to hate getting picked up. Oh, that's interesting. Usually more difficult when his routine changes. Yeah, that would, like, lockdown would absolutely mess with an autistic child, especially if they're severely autistic. Yeah, I love my routine. So yeah, when my routine gets thrown out of whack, when things change on a dime and I'm just not ready for it, I panic super bad. On that topic, you've heard a lot of people say you can't be racist towards white people. You've literally had a black person assume you're racist despite never having spoken to them, and you're literally the most wholesome person ever. That's a tricky discussion. That's a tricky discussion to have. Abs has abs, it's true. Abby, do you wear leggings? I do. I've got quite a few pairs. They are the comfiest shit in the world. I want to get some jeggings, jean leggings. He's non-verbal, so it can be difficult. Okay, I want to ask you this, as someone who's never met a non-verbal autistic person. I don't think. I've heard some people say that non-verbal autistic people can still reach a point of being able to speak. How does that work? I'm not quite sure what the definition of non-verbal is. Faster, thank you so kindly for the hydration. Pop fit leggings. Let's have a look. Pop fit, shop now. Leggings with pockets. They got pockets. I'll have to. Oh, they got big pockets. That's an idea. I'll keep an eye on those. Racism against white people doesn't contribute to oppressing. That's the main thing. This is why whenever you, like... Who was the guy that was recently... he was the Pog champ for a day. And he was under scrutiny. I think... Was it Critical Bard? I get the suspicion it may have been Critical Bard. Yes, I think... Was it him? I think he was the PogChamp during that first week where they're just like, oh, we're gonna cycle PogChamps for a bit. And he had people coming into his stream obviously harassing him because they couldn't stand the idea that the racist Trump supporter was no longer the PogChamp emote. Anywho, he made the very distinct point that not specifically regarding racism, but talking about the idea of white culture and how there is no such thing as white culture, contrasted against what they in America call black culture. Because, for example, white people in America can come from Ireland or England or Sweden or Denmark or any other white countries, and their culture would be descended from those countries that they know. Like they have a tie back to that, but the black culture in the US is distinct in the fact that a lot of black people in America distinctly come from slavery upbringing, slavery heritage. They were taken from some African nation, hundreds of years ago, and thus they don't have any genealogy that gives them any indication of what their specific culture in terms of origin might be. So, that's not specifically the same kind of thing. Does lack of oppression make racism any less bad? I think the main issue is we're starting to more greatly understand, like as someone who's deeply interested in sociology and social science, what we consider racism, this is an issue I have, is what we tend to consider racism in a broad social sense is the targeting of somebody because of their race, right? If you say something negative towards someone because of their race, you're considered a racist. And it is racist, but the more pertinent term would be prejudicial. You are being prejudiced towards somebody. The actual concept of racism is an institution, the institution that people, particularly the upper class, the high class white elite. I need hydration, sorry. We'll come back to nonverbal in a sec, sorry. I'm going off on a tangent here and I might as well get this thought out before I lose it. The concept of racism in a broad sense is an institution that has kept, generally speaking, like if we use the America example, black people oppressed for a very long time, and people of other races and cultures and things like that, but in a broad sense, well, you use the term people of color. So racism is an institution. It's not just a one-to-one social interaction. If you say a slur to someone because of the color of their skin, if you insult them because of the color of their skin, because of their race, or because of their culture, if you know somebody is Swedish and you make a Swedish joke at them, that's being prejudicial. And the reason in particular that if you were to target a person of color for their race, for example, if you were to do that for their race, then that is distinctly racism because it ties back to that pillar of institutional racism that is the foundation upon which the American society and largely broad Western society, like for example, we have distinct racism against Aboriginal people here in Australia. That's what the main difference is. I'm gonna be good at this fucking degree, dude. Holy shit. That's just off the cuff. Holy fuck, I knew all of that. I haven't even started yet. Anyway, nonverbal means he doesn't talk. He's not mute, but he's trying to now speak at the age of 7, but it's a slow process and lots of teaching. We've taught him bits of Makaton to help him. If he needs something, he's starting to learn bits of it now. So that has made things a lot less stressful for him. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. This could be called interpersonal and institutional racism. There you go. That's right. There is actually, there's a distinct difference. Interpersonal and institutional. Institutional, of course, being the foundational element that's built into society. The alphabet, help, more, please, hungry and thirsty because of my godbrother, and poop. Non-verbal godbrother couldn't speak words, but he was definitely verbal and he signs. Oh, I see. I wonder why that is. I wonder why non-verbalism is such a prominent thing. Which is kind of amusing to me as someone who has a very high vocabulary, I consider, generally speaking. I have focused quite intently on vocabulary throughout my life. I desperately want to know as many words as I possibly can in the English language and understand all of their meanings. Like I'm the entire opposite. It kind of speaks to the idea that autism is a spectrum. We are all affected by autism if we have autism, that is. If we are on the spectrum, we are all affected in ridiculously different ways. Detroit, there you go. Are you saying it's only racist if there is a history of oppression involved? Generally speaking, yes. Let me go back to I saw this earlier, what it was. The thing about the British and the Irish, because white folks can, what Dell said, white folks can shrug it off and go back to their privilege. That's black, indigenous, and people of color. BIPOC folks cannot. That's true. So hang on. Bow of the Fifth Column has a good video on that topic. Does the lack of oppression make racism any less bad? Honestly, I would say it does. If you call, again, this comes back to the thing about the comedy that we were talking about before. If you were to make a joke at the expense of white people, especially if you were to make a joke at the expense of white rich people, what's going to happen with them, right? Hello, Yarrow. How you doing? If you were to make a joke at the expense of white rich people, or just white people in general, how's that going to affect them on a social level? For example, if a comedian on stage to an audience of thousands, or to a, like if they put out a Netflix special, or whatever, and they're making a bunch of jokes about white people. Let's just say Dave Chappelle decides he wants to do an entire set of jokes against white people. Guarantee it'd be some of the funniest shit you ever saw, because that man knows how to write a joke. Even his more offensive jokes that actually probably would offend somebody like me, I'm just like, I have to laugh the majority of the time. Anyway, if he were to make an entire 90-minute set just tearing into white people, and millions of people on Netflix saw it, what's going to happen? What's the outcome of him doing that whole 90-minute set just tearing into white people? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to white people on a broad scale? Not fucking much, honestly. The institution, the oppression is not there in white society. Conversely, if Steven Crowder, for some reason, decided to do a 90-minute Netflix special and millions of people watched it, and it was all about black people, and all of the issues he seems to have with black people, what do you think's going to happen there? There's a distinct difference. You can fill in the blanks. I don't need to elucidate, I don't believe. So that's that's that, essentially. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Like, the influence of racism is particularly prevalent, especially depending on your location in the world. One of the most difficult issues he has is he's a wanderer and an escape artist. Those two things together are a nightmare, I can imagine. When you get stressed out and you're ready to melt down, you lose your ability to speak and your words are just gone. I get that too a bit, actually. When I get super stressed out, it's hard to piece together exactly what I want to say. I lose the vocabulary entirely at times. I can't put it out there. The thing about the signs, they're great for babies before they can speak. Well, that's good. Oh, here we go. Zomrife. In the sense, could you say the way the English have treated the Irish as a form of racism? I need to do more research on this, but from everything I've heard, though the Irish were treated bad, they were not treated good by any stretch of the imagination by the British. The comparison is simply nowhere near how the colonials treated both the Native Americans and the black slaves they brought over to America. It's simply not even comparable. So Irish oppression, yes, bad, nowhere near as bad. It reminds me, again, like I keep bringing up this stupid video that Isaac Butterfield did, where he specifically talked about the fact that there was white racism happening in South Africa. Like, there was, yes, distinctly institutional racism against white people in South Africa, but nowhere near the level of institutional racism that's happening in the Western world today. So it was kind of a stupid idea for him to bring that topic up in the first place. It does also bring up an interesting point you've seen, is that oppressed minorities are fighting back with oppression, so let's fast forward 50 to 100 years later, what do we make of that? Is it then not our job to prevent that from happening? How are they fighting back with oppression is the question I would ask. How are they fighting back with oppression? Thanks for the hydration. Cat Williams did a set about needing a white friend. It was one of the best stand-ups he's ever done. I'm gonna have to have a look at that. He did do a good bit recently it was about Black Lives Matter, I believe. It was when that was relevant. He got up on stage in front of a podium, did a full 8-minute stand-up set to no crowd. And it was still fucking hilarious. And it was very pertinent. Very, gets into your head kind of thing. Yeah, I'm genuinely curious. Like, how are they fighting back with oppression? Don't get me wrong, I do believe for certain there are people on all sides of race and gender and political affiliation and whatever else that most certainly lean into effective oppressive ideas, almost as a form of retaliation. But the fact of the matter remains, those people are still largely oppressed, and it's like a majority oppression sort of situation. Won't talk about the day you got a near full body sunburn. Tyler says a wanderer, but he's a 6'2" black guy who makes noises constantly, so he's hard to lose. We do worry about police interactions. Oh, absolutely. Worry because large black man with the mind of a toddler. Yeah, I would be absolutely fucking terrified if you were to be taking care of someone in that situation who's autistic, because we've seen what the police do.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Babbling Goat, hello. How you doing? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Everybody go follow Babbling Goat. Bloody legend. Fellow queer streamer. Can I say that? That's
Welcome
the word
to
I
the
tend to
Rogue
use.
Room.
Official OJ30, how you doing? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Did I say that to you as well? Babbling Goat. How you doing? Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, everyone. The Irish are doing fine. They even managed to get a bomb into the hotel Maggie Thatcher was residing in. What really bothers me is seeing Australians on social media show support for BLM, but then ignore the fact that we have our own problems at home. Yes, exactly. What degree did I get into? I got into social science. Bachelor's degree of social science. So that's what we're doing this year. And next year and the year after that, I'm going to be doing sociology and anthropology. And a bit of philosophy. And drinking a little bit of the bubbly, most likely. I've witnessed mostly black people targeting white people and full-on beating the shit out of them for being white and privileged. Found me on Discord. Well, I appreciate that, OJ. It's getting hard to type and words, so you're going to chill out. Radio, Kaz. Have a good one. What have I missed? Let me go back a bit. Your son has once left our house while we were asleep, took all of his clothes off and was found by the police, who were threatened by the police. They said they were considering arresting us for neglect, even though there were no signs of neglect. Had to call social services to let the police know the situation. That sounds horrible. Oh my god. This is why I don't like cops. But yeah, that's the goal, is I'm going to be a sociologist. I'm going to be a social scientist. In some way, shape, or form. My goal, actually, the reason I decided to do it, is because I want to create better content, honestly. I'm enjoying talking about this particular stuff, and I enjoy spreading awareness and educating and all of that. Again, I mentioned this in the past. I'm going to use this term again. I have been bucking the trend of my family for a while now. My mother and my sister are both teachers, or my sister is studying to be a teacher. And I was like, I don't want to be a teacher, and now I'm just like, I want to get a degree specifically to dispense that information to an audience. That's teaching. Why did that alert not trigger anxiety? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and continue to chill out with us like you have been already. Tyler is built like a mountain, but all he wants to do is carry around his Sleeping Beauty VHS tape and blanket. If it weren't for those features, he'd be scary. He's scary when he's upset, honestly. I feel like there's a lot of autistic people that tend to... Yeah, like, this is the issue with ableism, right? It's like, autistic people, and again, like myself, I've had meltdowns where I'm completely incontrollable. I am putting my fist through a window. Not good. And it's difficult to come down from that. And I think a lot of people are scared of, like, how do you restrain an autistic person? How do you calm them down? You don't restrain them. This is the problem. For the record, if we come back over here, Sia put out several tweets and then deactivated her Twitter account. She'll be back. She announced that she will put a warning about restraint before the movie. This is the movie Music, by the way, that was produced by Sia and features an autistic protagonist not portrayed by an autistic person, for the record. And it does not seem like she's consulted many actual autistic people on the production of this movie, which has been nominated for a Golden Globe. Massive, massive insult to the autistic community. And will remove the restraint scenes from all future printings. That is good, but it doesn't solve this entire mess. This is Sia fixing something that became a problem for her herself. Supporting traumatic, deadly prone restraint is not a good look, even for her. Of course, she's being celebrated by her stands for it, naturally. But the movie was harmful before we ever knew there was restraint in it. It's not good enough to put a disclaimer at the beginning and still show the movie. It's not good enough to remove the restraint scenes from future printings of the movie. The rest of the movie is still just as awful. That is still Sia refusing to give up her baby. Or this. This is still. Yarrow, thank you for gifting a sub to Turquoise Vixen. Thank you so kindly. My goodness gracious me. Hello, Danny. How you doing? Why is that font still purple? I thought I changed the font on those. The color. The font itself is different to the rest of my alerts, and the color is wrong. How the heck? Make no mistake, the fact that Sia will add a disclaimer and remove the restraint scenes from future printings, if that actually happens, will be used to silence autistic people who rightfully demand that the movie needs to be cancelled. Q, you lot are never happy, are you? I fucking hate whenever I see this kind of shit. Happens all the time. Anytime there's something going on at the moment in the football leagues here in Australia, I don't know what they're called, where a football player who a couple of years ago was banned from the league for being blatantly homophobic is now being considered to be let back in, as far as I'm aware. And because there's been a statement made that he's going to abide by like a social contract that prevents him from espousing any of those homophobic views, everyone is responding, let the guy play, you lot are never happy, are you? You never get over it. It's like, the problem is that they're letting a blatant homophobe, or seemingly going to let a blatant homophobe back on the football field and represent homophobia. That's the issue. Anyways. Should have to marry a man before he could be let back in. What have I missed? Hang on a second. Purple is my favorite color, Danny. It's absolutely my favorite color. But at the moment, I mean, yes, the thing that I like about this vibe is this is pure bisexual lighting, which is just like the best lighting. But I am not bisexual, so I feel like I'm appropriating lighting. But bisexual lighting is my favorite shit. Most autistic-oriented groups you're in on FB have been losing their collective minds about this movie. You know nothing about it except the autistic community is really upset at how problematic it is. And here's the thing. I saw what's the fucking thing? Let me reread this thing and see if I can jog my memory. Yeah, I saw a meme about like cisgender people should not have any opinion one way or another on trans identities. And it's the same kind of thing about the autistic community. It's like if you're completely dismissing the opinions of the autistic community to make your movie or to make your statement or to run a fucking charity that is trying to extinguish the existence of autistic lives, Autism Speaks, you genocidal fucking Nazis, then you have no authority to speak on autism. You know, this is the issue. If you don't consider autistic voices, you have no authority to create art that focuses on autism. They don't make TV for autistic children. Your son has been watching Zombie High on Disney Plus. He spent the last 2 days trying to be an alpha. He's no longer allowed to watch Disney. You're autistic yourself on the other end of the spectrum. And you're going to be 25 soon. That makes Tyler 38. Hang on, what have I missed here? The teddy bear, the sweetest thing. Once he got to know me, he'd let you put his VHS back in. That's adorable. Here's the way I say things. You say we keep the movie as an example of negative portrayals of media. Oh, absolutely. Like, I don't believe in striking down any media. I am very, very anti-destruction of media. For those of you who oh, by the way, Azera, sorry I missed you. Good night. I'm sorry I missed you now. I feel like an asshole now. I love Azera. Azera's great. The thing about the destruction of media, like we should not destroy movies, we should not destroy books or anything like that. We're so far behind on trans medicine, for example, because the Nazis, one of their first book burnings was a whole bunch of medical texts about trans identity and stuff like that from a transgender clinic. Whole bunch of scientific texts, medical texts about transgender stuff. Transgender stuff. So, you know, anytime media is destroyed, it's a loss for humanity. It's a huge, huge loss for humanity. Bonfire of the Vanities, another great destruction of media. That was back in the 1400s, I think. So we've lost a ton of history. We've lost a ton of information. And yeah, it's truly sad whenever something is destroyed. And there is a lot to be learned from negative portrayals in media. There's a lot to be learned. Do I consider, yeah, pansexual is definitely something. Because gender identity, like sexuality, for example, this is I guess the tie of sexuality to gender. Is, you know, there's more than two genders. Let's just get that out of the way right now. There's more than two gender identities. There's more than two gender presentations. And your sexuality can lean any which way if you are pansexual and you find that you have the capacity to be sexually attracted to anyone. Then that's pansexuality, as far as I'm aware. Again, I've said in the past, you know, I generally speaking consider myself to be pan in a sense. I'm just attracted to, generally speaking, women or feminine presenting people. So that's my main thing. You like Aspie, but Asperger's is no longer considered a diagnosis. It's not. Asperger's is got stricken from the record because it's Asperger was a Nazi who sent low-functioning autists to the gas chamber. Yeah, he was a Nazi. Hans Asperger was a Nazi. Just found out we were just talking about it like the other night on stream. We were talking about how like I used to be diagnosed Asperger's, and then somebody brings up in chat, did you know he was a Nazi? And I'm like, now I do. And we did a bit of research on that. Had a teacher who told you he was Aspie. Yeah, I hate that term. Closed off a very nice and understanding of your personal struggles. But Ported was bullied by students. That's awful. There's one doctor who was let off with no charges. Rofum 123, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. Can you make an autism joke? You're pushing your luck, Draco, but go for it, I suppose. Was such a good word. I don't know, I've never liked it, personally. It was Magnus Hirschfield's Library of Sexology. One can discuss Hirschfield as a person, but he was an absolute fucking transphobic piece of shit, but the science provided was incredibly valuable. Why do people have to be absolute dog shit people, while also doing some good things for the world? Not straight, you're a closet bean. Didn't believe it at first. Lost the mason art and technology that the Egyptians and the Mayans used to build the pyramids too. Yeah, exactly. Because humans. Did you hear about the painter who was neurodivergent? They were autistically talented. One thing you never understood is that according to some people, physical sex isn't real, but cisgender specifically refers to a person whose gender and physiology align. But by the first notion, cis isn't a thing. What do you mean? To some people, physical sex isn't real. Hang on a second. I'm freezing my toes off now. The air conditioning has gotten the house really cold. dying. I need to put my giant Ugg boots on. Which I've had for years, by the way, and this brings me to the Samuel Vimes Boots theory of economic inequality. Just give me a moment to diverge for a second. If you would please. A quote from Terry Pratchett, the author of the Discworld novels. Rest in peace, Vale Terry Pratchett. The reason that the rich were so rich, Vimes reasoned, was because they managed to spend less money. Take Boots, for example. He earned $38 a month plus allowances. A really good pair of leather boots cost $50, but an affordable pair of boots, get the fuck out of my way, pop-up, which was sort of okay for a season or two, then leaked like hell when the cardboard gave out, cost about $10. These were the kind of boots Vimes always bought, and wore until the soles were so thin that he could tell where he was in Ankh-Morpork on a foggy night by the feel of the cobbles. But the thing was that good boots lasted for years and years. A man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that'd be still keeping his feet dry in 10 years' time, while the poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet. This was the Captain Samuel Vimes Boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. I say this because somebody bought me these Ugg boots. I think it was my mother or something like that, about 5 or 6 years ago. I've had these bitches for a while, and despite some wear and tear, they're still going fucking strong. These are like $200 merino wool Ugg boots. Versus, if I were to go to Kmart and buy a $20 pair, they'd be worn out by the end of the season. Anywho, coming back to everything that we were talking about autism and all of that kind of good stuff. One thing you never understood is, so let's come back to your comment before, Zomrath. One thing you never understood is, according to some people, physical sex isn't real. I mean, I don't know who's saying that necessarily. There are some people who might be that delusional, but I don't know. Cisgender specifically refers to a person whose gender and physiology align. It just generally refers to people who are not trans. Let me try to think. Sex isn't real sounds like a vast oversimplification. Yeah. Trying to think. What's my degree? I'm going to be going into social science. Bachelor's degree of social science. Not physiology. Majoring in sociology and anthropology. There we go. Cis is definitely a thing in the sociology high five. There we go. Boom. There we go. The cisgender is definitely a thing in the sense that it's simply...
The Rogue Room appreciates your
Hey,
recommendation.
Badger. Thank you for the host. Welcome in, friends. How you doing? What's going on? How was your stream? I imagine you were streaming if you bring along 3 guests for the ride. How's it going? Cisgender is a thing in the sense that there are people who are transgender. Yeah. More hydration. I'll take it. Yeah, starting out the adventure. I haven't done a bachelor's degree before. So we're getting started. We're kicking it off. Getting into study. Gonna get similar degrees then? Nice. It's an awesome and interesting topic. Playing some Borderlands 3. Nice. How'd you go? Let me think. Let me think for a moment. Let me ruminate on the concept of, like, because transgender is a thing. Big, like, red arrows pointing at my head, just, like, insert those in post kind of thing. It is a romper, yes. Because transgender is a thing, gender has nothing to do with physiology. It has nothing to do with your biology. Gender is the identity that you are assigned at birth. You are assigned male or female at birth. And if you grow up and you decide for yourself the gender identity I was assigned, the script I was given, the way that I was raised, the identity that I was assigned before I had the choice to make my own decisions, doesn't align with how I feel about myself. Transgender is just saying, I don't agree with that gender role. I don't agree with that identity that you've given me. I'm going to decide for myself. And it's not based on sex. And I watched Dr. K's interview with ContraPoints recently because everything I do is just mimicking ContraPoints lately, apparently. It was a really good interview, but yeah, the fact of the matter is that point that I just made about the script.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Kenji. Is that how you say that? Kenji? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. The point she made in the interview with Dr. K was that she just felt like the script of the woman, the social script, as a concept, the idea that, there are certain behavior patterns, there are certain ways to dress, there are certain identity elements that just fit better for one person or another. And for some people, they don't feel like they fit the social role that is expected of them at all, and those people go on to become non-binary, perhaps. Or maybe not, maybe they don't. But cisgender just means you were born and you were assigned male or female at birth, and you identify with male or female at birth. You identify with the role you were given. Yeah, Ro, thank you so kindly for the 100 bits. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go back a bit. You learned about the concept a few years back, but cis is merely heteronormative behaviors. Even not even heteronormative. It's just purely gender. Because gender and sexuality are separate concepts. And that's a whole thing we could get into. The majority of people with a penis identify as male, therefore a penis is an indicator but not a confirmation. That's an interesting thing, is that there are intersex people who are born with some combination of genitalia, some unusual sex characteristics that are still assigned male or female at birth. They still get assigned a social role. So that speaks to a bunch of concepts about how we socially consider ourselves. What did I say about why are relationships even a thing? Why don't you just have a friend you rail sometimes? For some people, that is how it works out. That's still a relationship in its own way. Relationships are a very deep and intricate topic. Chicken nuggets or chicken... Was it chicken wings? Yes, chicken nuggets or chicken wings. Rightio, broken. Let's give you a poll. There you go. Vote nugs or wings, folks. How you feeling? I'm gonna go... Oh, fuck. This is tough. I do like me some nuggets, but I do like some wings too. I'm gonna be a rebel because everyone's voting nuggets. I'm going wings. We got 7 votes for nuggets, 3 for wings. I don't like FPS. No, I'm not a... Well, I like Doom. And actually, funny you should say Heretic. I quite like the game Heretic from way back in the 90s, and there's a game coming out in the not too distant future that seems like it's going to emulate Heretic in a lot of ways, and I'm keen. Gonna have to look at my wish list to remind myself what it is, but it looks fucking good. And I'm like, I want to play that shit. Heretic was awesome. If you've not played Heretic, I urge you to go back and play it. It's an amazing game. It was like Doom, but in like a high fantasy kind of setting, dark fantasy kind of setting. So the assigned gender is such as given. It is given on key physical features, yes. If the doctor looks at your body and you've got one or the other genitalia, they assign you that social role, and generally speaking, as you move forward with your life, you continue to pick up... Like, this is what I mean about the script, right? All my life, I followed the male script until I was at the very tail end of my 31st birthday. Well, not even then. I'm 31 now. I have been for about 8 months or whatever, 7 months. And there was a moment in my teens, I speak about this often, where I had a gender crisis break. And I started looking into what is it going to cost me, what's it going to be on a social level to transition, what's it going to be on a medical level to transition, and I scared myself. And I scurried back and repressed into the male gender role for the longest time and continued to just push away all the femininity that I had desperately wanted to express. And then, yeah, something happened on the day after my 31st birthday, and I just cracked. 69% nice of you voted for nuggets. 11 votes versus 5. Nice. Played all Heretics and Hexens. They're good fucking games, aren't they? Fun fact for people who don't know, cis is a Latin prefix that means on the same side of, trans means on the other side of, and neither are a shortening of another word. There you go. Thank you, Goat. Thank you for that lovely bit of historical information. Historical bit of, not epistemology. What's the word that starts with E that talks about language? I've forgotten what it is. Etymology, I think. Yeah, etymology. Exactly. You want to know if you found men or women more attractive, so you asked a cutie out. Turns out they're non-binary. There you go. Wings over nuggets. You like meat, not mechanically reclaimed. Fair point. Whole breast nuggets are
You are
good
now
there.
one
Oh my
of
goodness.
us.
Kill Dark 0. is gifting 10 tier 1s to the community. Fuck me dead. Holy balls. Everybody come and join us in the Cum Stained subscriber lounge. I
You are
promise it
now
wasn't
one
meant
of
to look
us.
like that. Terrace92, Rye87, Sepmoan, Sophia's Ace, Kuro Moon, Misty Kitty TV, Industrial Gloves, Kenji, Boomhaha, and Jack Wins. Enjoy your subscriptions. Enjoy your
You are
subscriptions.
now one of
Thank you,
us.
Jacinta. Now you can... You just lost that sub, mate. Thank you for the money. Well, Killdark Zero, thank you for that
You
sub.
are now one of us.
But they just lost the sub. Do you guys know this? If you get banned in a channel, you apparently lose your subscription. That feels kind of mean. I wish we could give it to somebody else. I wish we could pass it on to somebody else.
You are now one of
Oh,
us.
we're going to have to listen to the bot do this over and over again. Fucking Christ. Had a gender fluid phase when you were a teenager, but that's also a gender identity break. Guess you decided cis was right. I distinctly remember now, and I kind of... Yeah, they are
You are
losers,
now
generally
one
speaking.
of us.
They have nothing interesting to say. Like, we've heard everything they typically say, so I tend to just ignore them until a mod catches it. Which is not the best way to do it, but honestly, chat has been moving so fucking fast lately that if I try to ban someone
You are
myself,
now one of us.
I'm terrible with my mouse. Anywho, there was distinctly a moment in my teens where, you know, as I was experimenting just a little bit with my presentation.
You
I
are
stole
now
a couple
one
of my
us.
mother's clothes at times to see how I'd look in her blouses or her pants or whatever. And then I just pushed that away and I was like, no, this is bad. This is not what normal people do. No, push it
You
way
are
away.
now
aside.
one of us.
Killdark Zero, thank you so fucking kindly for 10 gifted subs. Oh my god. This is fucking annoying. Shut up, Botwick. You done?
Welcome back, supporter of
Welcome
the cause.
That one was for Jack, so that was the last one. There we go. Enjoy that, everyone. Enjoy your gifted subs. One of us. You are now one of us. Syndicate. I've not tried Syndicate, but I might have to give it a go because I've heard it's good. Hate to use the wording, but you had a gender fluid phase. So yeah. Yeah, I definitely had, which is not quite the same kind of thing. But, you know what? I'm going to gender Botwick as they, them. I'm going to stop referring to... Botwick is now non-binary. Botwick is now a they, them. They are a robot, so... You know. It's good if you like tactical, real-time cyberpunk. That sounds pretty cool. Calling the gender police. Just turned out that you're cisgender, but you're pan, so you think that may be where it came from. That's the thing, though, too. Hello, Martin. How you doing? That's also the thing, is like, though gender identity and sexuality are completely separate concepts, they do intertwine in a number of ways. This is this concept called intersectionality, which is largely with regards to ideology and discourse. You know, there's, let's just say, for example, queer rights and the rights of people of color tend to intersect a lot. You can have a lot of intersectional discussions around queer people and people of color. A lot of the same things cross over there in terms of civil rights and such. Intersectionality is a lot deeper than that, but that's a really basic example that I tend to use. The denial of human rights and things like that. Queer and POC mentioned Stonewall. Stonewall was started by a black transgender woman, for the record. Stonewall, which led to Pride. We stand. You had therapist and your mother say you have gender identification issues. You do love that sometimes you can be girly when you want to be, but you mostly dress very masculine. Botwick is heckin' valid-woo. Gender assignment at birth is based on physical sex traits, but gender assignment is a social process rather than a biological fact. That's the best way to explain it. The room is pretty. It is very pretty. I'm going to put more lights in soon. I'm going to try to keep putting lights in. The lights are nice. And I got to get a pride flag. Flag. Abigail, the word flag has an L in it. Pride flag. Want to get a trans pride flag? A pride what? We know I have issues elucidating things at times. I mean, I've said that word on stream with regards to context. Rena. I've reached my sub goal. Why has it not ticked over? I have. I don't know why it hasn't. I mean, I can understand that libertarians ruined any type of... I mean, flag waving in general has ruined flags for me. Why is this not... Let me try something. I'm going to refresh the session and maybe that'll fix the sub goal. Do the sub goal thing. I can English until I can't. Until I... Emmanuel can't. There we go. 103. Holy fucking shit, dude. Let's see if Twitch Tracker actually remembers this time that I've got 100 plus subs. Oh, fuck. Dude, this is overwhelming. Oh, okay. It's time for Ninja Stars. Time for a Ninja Star. I need a better, I need a better fidget spinner. The fidget spinners are not the best thing for fidgeting. I like my fidget cube more. Listen to that. That's some ASMR right there. Listen to that. It sounds so nice. That coupled with the lo-fi is a chill vibe. I'm not going to become an ASMR artist. But I'm probably going to stim like crazy now because I've hit 100 fucking subscribers. We've passed multiple different sub goals in the past week. Do you want to know that? We've passed 50, then 75, then 100 in the past week. The fuck? This is insane. What's wrong with you people? I stopped going to therapy, but you guys should start. No, don't. At one point you assume the transgender flag was from a country. I like that joke where it's like, why are all the hot girls from this country? What country is this? And it's a picture of the trans flag. Transylvania. I want to go to Transylvania. These are not the cocktails you're looking for. I can afford my own cocktails now with my reasonable sub goal being met. As soon as I get payout, buy my own cocktail shit. Actually, I think my next payout's probably going to be pretty big, and I'm going to put that money more than likely to my endocrinologist appointment. Yeah, I'm amazing. Thank you, Badger. 5 months you were convinced that a country with that flag exists. Yeah. Modern problems require modern solutions. What did I miss? Want to get a rainbow flag? You're closeted. So one time you got a chakra blanket thing. Oh, that's kind of cool though. I like the sound of that. I would like something that gives me the aesthetic of the trans flag. You know what? Here's an idea. Trans pride art. Here we go. This is what I wouldn't mind having above my my bedhead. Some artwork. Something like this. Or that. That looks fucking cool. I love this thing, whatever this is. Where's this? Like, I wouldn't mind getting something like this. Frame it, hang it above, or like that on a print. Trans pride wall tapestry. Dude. Dude, yes. Dude, yes. How big is 23 inches? $27. And this is honestly, let me just quickly show you my starting soon screen. That's my starting soon screen. I was considering emulating this particular art style of like take the trans pride flag color scheme and do that to this. Do that to my starting soon screen, do that to my outro screen, do that to any other pixelization that I've got. Because it's such a nice color scheme. Like, look at that. Just like, is that not the most tranquil shit in the fucking world? Seriously, it gives me feelings. Let me see, what is this? 51 inches by 60 inches? What the fuck? What the fuck? How big is 51 inches? That big. That help you in any way? There. 51 inches by 60. So I gotta be that wide by that tall, I guess. So almost square. Actually, how big is the biggest one? How big is the biggest one? 88 inches by 104 inches. I don't even think this goes to 104 inches. The cat's trying to... I think the cat's in the kitchen. 88 inches. By... It'd probably be like that. Wide. By... Yeah. You know what? This is $50 fucking though. And that's probably not in Australian dollars. But now I've got another thing on my desk, by the way. 51 inches. There was a porn star. I'm not going to say anymore. There was a porn star. Don't know if she's still around. Very, very large dildo. I'm just going to leave it at that. You can do the rest of the research yourself. Incredibly, incredibly large dildo. That's all the context you need. You can fill in the blanks yourself. This is an 18+ stream, by the way. But yeah, dude, I've seen other artworks like this recently. Similar things. And I fucking want this. That is a contemplation that's going in my shopping bag. Instead of a traditional trans flag, I'm going to get a trans artwork. Trans pride artwork. Because, dude, like, look at this. Look at this fucking thing right here. What the fuck is that? Looks sick. Looks fucking awesome. Look at the kitty cats. Trans cats. Trans cat rights. The trans fist is nice. Why do they call it society? Stop nigging my people's weird letters. What have I missed, by the way, while I was busy measuring the wall? Moby huge. What have I missed? What have I missed? On the East Coast, you can message you about some endo stuffs. Yes, certainly you could, Badger. Absolutely. You have a large dildo. I do not. I'm not going to speak any further on my sex toys. I'm just going to like, well, let's not. I will say this, though. Before my sex drive completely fell off, and there's none of it left, that was honestly, like, that was one of the things that helped me come to terms with myself. Was exploring a little bit more in that regard. If you get what I mean. Entirely personally, not with anyone. But, you know, exploring the things that I had previously said to myself, don't do that. No further comment. That definitely helped me be like, oh. Yeah. Okay. And at first I was really disturbed by it. I was really, like, uncomfortable with what I was going through. And then I realized, you're your own person. Whatever you do in private is your own business. And if it helps you feel more comfortable with who you are, then more power to you. As long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself. You support me in my self-exploration. Thank you. Sex toys are based all the joy and none of the hassle of having to do anything with a partner. Ever heard of social ecology? I think I have. Yes. Let me refresh my memory because there are a couple of. I'm thinking of. Environmental fascism. Different thing. For those of you who are curious, there's something to look at there. Socioecology, the scientific study of how social structure and organization are influenced by an organism's environment. Have I heard of WANTA? Isn't that winter? This is a very short essay on sex and gender by trans activist and lawyer Dean Spade. Should be read by everyone. Let's have a look. Not eco-fash bookchin. Okay. A theory about the relationship between ecological and social issues. Associated with American social theorist Murray Bookchin, it emerged from a time in the mid-1960s under the emergence of both the global environment and American civil rights movements, and played a much more visible role from the upward movement against nuclear power by the late 70s. It presents ecological problems as arising mainly from social problems, in particular from different forms of hierarchy and domination, and seeks to resolve them through the model of a society adapted to human development and the biosphere. It is a theory of radical political ecology based on communalism, which opposes the current capitalist system of production and consumption. It aims to set up a moral, decentralized, united society guided by reason. I like it. I like green politics. I like green politics. I know winter only in an online sense. You know, as a viewer, as a member of the Discord. If anyone wants any Pride stuff, you'd point to Etsy. There is tons of Pride stuff on there. Actually, we can get rid of this now, the Autism Challenge stuff. We're done with that. We don't need to have my Twitch tracker up there. Okay, let's have a look through this. Let's read about purportedly gendered body parts by Dean Spade, February 3rd, 2011. You're panicking over something stupid. What's that? The only race you don't like is the one where you need to run. Listen, call me a racist. If you like. But quite frankly, motorbike races are way cooler than car races. I'm sorry. I do not care for the rights of racing cars, but motorbikes are fucking sick. And I don't care if that's me prejudicially arguing against a certain type of race. I don't care. I'm allowed to have my opinion, and I should be free to express my opinion about certain races. Personally, I quite frankly am not a huge fan of marathons. Sprints, on the other hand, are fast and intense. Marathons are long and drawn out and exhausting. There's only one race, NASCAR. Speaking on the subject of racism, NASCAR fans seem to be rife with the whole prejudice against people of color thing. I've wanted to use that stupid joke for such a long time too. Don't like races much. Don't see race because you don't turn on the sports channel. Like I don't. You love my opinions. Thank you, Emmy. I aim to please. Reported for racism. There's exists a group of native people in Melanesia that worships the US Army. Really? That's weird. No idea why people would want to watch 12 vehicles driving around in circles looking for an exit. I don't know, dude. Or like the bigger ones, the what's it called? Like the stuff like Bathurst and all that. They've got like 40 something cars. And I've seen bits and pieces of the races and I'm just like, they're on lap 168 of 947 or something. Like, whoa. And like you just watch it and it's just driving. Just driving. Clipsal, yeah. They're just driving. Indy 500. They're just driving around the circuit. Cars look a bit different. And they're just driving and around and around and around. I went to an equestrian event at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. And we sat on the side of the equestrian event for like a solid half an hour before we saw a horse come past. And we saw it for all of 30 seconds as it rode past us and did its event, whatever it was that it was doing. And then we just continued to sit there, watching some trees. And it was like, who gets into this shit? Like, I'm so baffled. Who gets what? This is the thing, is like I feel like I could reasonably understand watching a team sport or watching tennis. I actually don't mind tennis. I don't watch it, but I don't mind tennis. But like, you know, watching soccer or football or golf. Yeah, even golf. Golf is one of the more boring ones. But the really long, drawn-out shit, like the car races, with thousands of laps, and marathons, and I can't wrap my head around it as someone who's a fitness junkie. I don't get it. Horsewhipping sadists, yeah, I agree. I dislike anything equestrian simply by the virtue of animal abuse. Like, absolutely strike the Melbourne Cup forever, for example. Fucking ridiculous. They routinely kill at least a couple of horses every single Melbourne Cup. F1 is such a good sport, you can watch it at 40 times speed and lose nothing. Thank you for that, Cake. Did I hear the news? Yes, Trump is out of office. I do have an 8-legged pet. You can pet my kitty. You can come and play with my pussy if you like, Jacinto. You can't play with the spider, though. You cannot play with the spider. I did, if you guys follow me on Twitter, though, and you check your fleets on your phone, I did post 2 videos of her crawling around her enclosure today, which was fucking cool. But all that says to me, unfortunately, is she's hungry. And the moment I give her food, she's gonna fuck off and I won't see her again for 3 weeks. You do have 2 dogs and some gaffer tape. I have I'll show you a picture of her. Since we've got pictures of her at the moment. We've got fresh pictures. I don't know what she is. I still don't know what she is. Where is my... Ooh, Dharma did something with her hair and it looks lovely. Here we go. Can I just like... I've just been sending photos to myself on Messenger so that I can then just show you guys, or if I... or folks. You folks, sorry. Myanmar, I did hear about the Myanmar coup, yes. I was going to talk about it on stream, but I never got around to actually discussing it. Here we go, let me bring this up. If I can recall, if I can remember to, what was I going to say? I don't even know what I was going to say. Okay, the message didn't send. Oh, that was on my story. I sent it to my story like a dumb fuck. No. Send it to me, you dipshit. She's not venomous. There we go. Here's a quick... Just checking something. Okay, here's a quick glance at Vess. That is Vess. I believe we did touch on, like, what breed she was, but I keep forgetting. There is a spider that looks very similar. I'll bring her back up again. There's a spider that looks very similar to her, but I'm not quite sure it's the same one. It's lovely. A lovely little spider. Yeah, I'll bring the video up. Yeah, Aung San Suu Kyi spent years in house arrest, won a Nobel Peace Prize,
Another
eventually...
round on you. I'm a buff baby and I can dance like a man. I can shake hey my fanny, I can shake hey my can.
Thank you for the 100 bits, Yarrow. Goodness gracious me. Alright, let me get this video here. Here's this one here. There we go. See the guy, the video of the PE teacher doing her dance routine? Yes, I did. I did see most of it. Didn't see the whole thing. But I did see most of it. Here we go. Just mute this. So come back for a second. This is Vess moving around. Oh, that's not the good one. Oh well. You get to see a bit of her movement. Anyway, that's Vess. She did hide. I opened up the enclosure once I saw her out and I tried to get some footage. I did get a bit more footage than that. Again, if you do follow me on Twitter, go check my fleets. There's a good lengthy video of her crawling around in there. It's only about 14 seconds, but it's something. Badger, thank you for the hydration. The Sentinelese are awesome. They are fucking legends. What have I missed? Spent years in house. Oh, and eventually got the power she was elected into. She did a genocide. Well, that's not bloody good, is it? It's not nice. The term for that way are basically island nations who have no idea what technology suddenly saw fighter planes and radio towers during the Vietnam War, and when they left, they recreated radio towers out of wood and plant fiber, and would copy the takeoff signals in hopes of bringing back these godlike beings with technology beyond their comprehension. That's interesting. And Yara, thank you for gifting a sub to Goddess Gex. Goddess Gex. Thank you so kindly. Let us draw Abigail. You can draw Abigail if you like. What were we talking about? We were going to discuss this thing over here. The cargo cult, same thing. Well, yeah, that's what was mentioned before, the cargo cult. Oh, yeah, I think I've seen stuff like this. A millenarian belief system which adherents perform rituals which they believe will cause a more technologically advanced society to deliver goods. These cults were first described in Melanesia in the wake of the contact with Allied military forces during the Second World War. Still amazed that there were aerial dogfights within 20 years of the Wright brothers' first flight. I know, it's kind of amazing, isn't it? Yeah, you did mention, I did respond, Badger. Yeah, send me a message about endocrinologist stuff. I'll see if I can answer any questions you have. They were not the first to fly? The Wright brothers, you mean? Cargo cult thinking is the belief that we simply emulate the visible effects of achievement. The real achievement will follow automatically, especially when the initial results look promising. We tend to think we are skilled, while in reality we are lucky. The term cargo cult was first coined after World War II. Kiwi did it. There we go. Your internet is not the best. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Bloody internet. buggery. Bugger it all. Should we read about purportedly gendered body parts? Kiwis are flightless. How dare you? Alright. Should we read this? I want to read this. Oh my god, my fingers are like sore. Okay. That's not good for the gaming that I totally do. Okay, so there's this by Dean Spade, published in February 3rd, 2011, a short essay. I was about to say video essay because I've just gotten so used to tying those two words together. I've been thinking about how much I would like it if people, especially health practitioners, exercise instructors, and others who talk about bodies a lot, would adjust their language about body parts heavily associated with gender norms. Lots of people who identify as feminists and allies to trans people still use terms like female-bodied, male body parts, bio-boy, and biologically female. Even in spaces where people have gained some basic skills around respecting pronoun preferences, suggesting an increasing desire to support gender self-determination and release certain expectations related to gender norms, I still hear language used that asserts a belief in constructions of biological gender. This is all still incredibly relevant to today, honestly. This hasn't changed in 9 years, 10 years. From my understanding, a central endeavor of feminist, queer, and trans activists has been to dismantle the cultural ideologies, social and legal norms that say certain body parts determine gender identity and gendered social characteristics and roles. We've fought against the idea that the presence of uteruses or ovaries or penises should be understood to determine such things as people's intelligence, proper parental roles. That's kind of incredibly relevant to some shit that happened today. If you would like to read more about that, you can go to my Twitter. I posted a twit longer about some pretty grim stuff, but, you know, proper parental roles. I want my kids to call me mum. My ex doesn't like that. Proper physical appearance, proper gender identity, proper labor roles, proper sexual partners and activities, and capacity to make decisions. We've opposed medical and scientific assertions that affirm the purported health of traditional gender roles and activities, and pathologized bodies that defy those norms. As feminists and trans allies, we continue to work to dispel myths that body parts somehow make us who we are and make us less than or better than depending on which we have, but feminists and trans allies sometimes, often inadvertently, prop up these sexist and transphobic ideas just by using language that is shaped by biological determinism. This is I don't know if this is particularly relevant, but this reminds me distinctly of the kinds of transphobes who will say, oh, I support your right to exist, I support your life, you know, live who you live how you live, love who you love, whatever. But you'll never be a real man or woman, and I oppose your right to be able to walk down the street without having your head caved in by a transphobe with a bottle, because I care about the rights of real biological women and girls, kind of thing. You get what I mean? Like, I've noticed that a lot in the transphobe rhetoric, in the TERF rhetoric recently. Yeah, I have legitimate concerns about real women and girls. Meanwhile, you know, we are a specifically disenfranchised minority that is being targeted by straw men, largely. Welcome back, Feast. How you doing? You'll never be a real man. You are absolutely right, Minima. I will never be a real man. Such a shame. That still gets me that person tweeted that at VilosophyTube. I need to restock on the water. Like, you'll always be a woman. And they were serious. You'll never be a man. They deleted their account. Who would win in an Abby v Abby cage match? I mean,
you are now one of us.
Oh my goodness, Yara, thank you for gifting a sub to Cake is a made-up drug. Thank you so kindly. Oh my goodness, you're gonna go for a shower, Badger? Have a good one. Enjoy that sub, enjoy the ad-free viewing, enjoy the emotes, enjoy your place in the sub lounge. And honestly, I don't know the physicality of Abigail Thorne, but I do lift. Not that muscle necessarily determines whether I could beat someone up, because I am explicitly pacifist. I'm beginning to question my assertion of the pursuit of such a masculine body.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
I am dumb, by the way. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. How you doing? Yeah, we got the sub lounge. It's not very good. Wonder if you could draw something for someone here if they gift a sub. You could. Very simple-minded individual, so your understanding boils to you have a penis identified as male, therefore I am cis, but adversely, you always see that a trans woman or trans man is just a man or woman, and you like both. Yeah. I think you've generally got the idea. Just the main thing is that gender identity is not tied to physiology beyond your assignment at birth. People are people, everything else is just presupposition. Exactly. Everything that and this is the hard part to get across because, you know, you start using a bunch of terminology and language that a lot of people don't generally think about. No, you didn't donate $10,000. I'd like that, but I have an alert system set up. I would know if you donated $10,000. You're specifically willing to be violent against the wealthy parasites that keep us all down and to defend anyone experiencing abuse within your eyesight. Yeah. That's the main issue. It's like, I consider myself largely pacifist based on the fact that I don't want to get hurt myself. But at the same time, it's like I would be willing to be violent against certain types like that. So anyway, coming back to this right here. I have heard language used by many smart trans people and allies that I would like to suggest as an alternative to the language that is invested in the myth of biological binary gender. We can talk about uteruses, ovaries. I feel like it should be uteri. It's uterus, not uter-you. Ovaries, penises, vulvas, etc. without specificity, without assigning these parts a gender. Rather than saying things like male body parts, female bodies, or male bodies, we can say the thing we are probably trying to say more directly, such as bodies with penises, bodies with uteruses, people with ovaries, and skip the assumption that those body parts correlate with a gender. Examples. Unfortunately, the anatomical drawings in this book only represent bodies with penises and testicles, but I think this picture can still help you get a sense of how the abdominal muscle is shaped. People with testicles may find this exercise easier with this adjustment. Some people may feel a sensation in the ovaries during this procedure. There you go. No war but the class war. Destroy the fascists at the top of society. Eat the lizard people. Uter-wee. Your violence is purely reactionary to defend someone. Yeah, I can understand that. You back anyone into a corner, the lizard brain kicks in. The lizard brain kicks in and you become a member of the bourgeoisie. I would hope. No, I wouldn't. I would like to go a little bit more, you know, aristocratically styled with my videos. More dramatic embellishment and set dressing and costume design. But I'm poor, so I can't do that. The term internal reproductive organs can be a useful way to talk generally about ovaries, uteruses, and the like without calling them female reproductive organs. Example, the doctor might think it is necessary to have some ultrasounds of the internal reproductive organs to find out more about what is causing the pain. Do I feel like a man or a woman, or do I just feel like shit? I love the fact that PhilosophyTube referenced that and turned it on its head. Do I feel like a man or a woman? The answer is I feel happy. And that's how I feel. I feel happy. Happy Abbies. More happy Abigails, please. Except I thought this was Dark Souls music for a second. Except for Abigail Shapiro. She can stay unhappy in her miserable marriage, where she feels like she's nothing but a baby factory. We need to get her out, guys. We need to get her out. We need to get Abigail Shapiro out. I can save her. Dry ass P word. By the way, Turquoise, thank you for that. Thank you so kindly. She thinks she's a baby factory. I see her Wait, did I see the GoFundMe to get her a sex toy? No, I didn't. Oh my god. Pigeons are all members of the government. They are. Pigeons are actually drones. They're an early prototype drone. They've been around for a long time. A combination of biology and technology. Yeah, Abby Shapiro's husband does have a super feminine face that he hides behind a beard. I wonder if he's her beard. Or if... No, sorry, I wonder if she's his beard. I should stop speculating on this. Anyway, we can use the term people who menstruate. Oh, there's that old phrase again. Or people who are pregnant, or people who produce sperm, or other terms like these, rather than using male, female, or pregnant women as a proxy for these statuses. The people who menstruate discussion. Do you remember that? You remember turf wars? In this particular way, we get rid of the assumptions that all people who identify as a particular gender have the same kind of body or do the same things with their bodies, as well as the mistaken belief that if your body does this thing, it is a particular gender. Examples: this exercise is not recommended for people who are menstruating. Don't do squats while you're on your period, ladies. And don't wear white shorts. Pregnant featherless biped. Do I do art trades? I don't even know what art trades technically are. Turquoise, thank you for the hydration. People who are trying to become pregnant should not take this medication. People who produce sperm should be warned that this procedure could affect their fertility. Hashtag abolish gender. Deconstruct gender roles. This is why gender trash is such a good gender to choose. When we want to talk about someone and indicate that they are not trans, we can say not trans or non-trans or cisgender rather than biologically male or bio boy or bio girl. This is still such a huge point of contention 10 years later, where they find the term cisgender, they find the term cis. TERFs and transphobes tend to find that to be a slur. Like, we're not slurring against you, we're describing the fact that you are not trans. When we have a discussion around trans identity and we say things about cisgender people, it's easier to just refer to them by a really simple term like cisgender, you know, rather than biologically male. Again, there are no such things as biological males or biological females. You are a boy or a girl, man or a woman, male or female is a gender role assigned to you at birth. Biologically proud boys. They coined the damn terms themselves. They're so stupid. Draw, and you draw what I want. Oh, I see. Art trades. The argument is given if you stop and think about it, most cis women don't menstruate. True. You know, a lot of women on, and then like this comes back to a thing. Need to go. Panic Radio Turquoise. Please chill out. Try not to freak too much. Biologically fucked. Have a good one, Turquoise. When we talk about someone trans, we should identify them by their current gender, and if they need to refer to their assigned gender at birth, we could say that they were assigned male or assigned female, rather than that they are biologically male or biologically female. These bio terms reproduce the oppressive logic that our bodies have some purported biological gendered truth in them, separate from our social gender role. Our bodies have varying parts, but it is socialization that assigns our body parts gendered meaning. If we know we're going to be talking about bodies, taking the adjectives male and female or masculine and feminine out of our vocabularies for describing body parts or systems can help us avoid alienating or offending the people we are talking to. This may help improve access to whatever we are offering for people who are often alienated from much needed health services. As we all know, lots of people's bodies do not fit the rigid story about biological sex. Including trans people, genderqueer people, people with intersex conditions, people who cannot or choose not to reproduce, non-trans women who've had hysterectomies, non-trans men who do not have testicles, etc. Many people who will benefit from our efforts to dismantle gendered language about bodies that enforces harmful norms, taking these gendered framings off of medical intake forms and making sure that the gender question on such forms is a blank space where people can write whatever they want rather than them check a box, are also important steps for improving access. Bye-bye, Feast. Oh, wait. Are you talking about Turquoise? Have I missed something? Have a good one, Turquoise. Hello, Feast. You can stay here. You're not allowed to leave. Taking these gender framings off medical intake forms, blah, 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 blah. And are also important steps for improving access. I'm sure that depending on the context in which we're talking about bodies, other phrasing might be useful, but I believe we can talk in ways that get out of compulsory gender assignment of these body parts and reflect our rejection of the notion that binary gender is natural or pre-political. I would love to hear other people's examples of good use of language to move away from these assumptions. Okay, so let's break this down. I used to be one of those people who believed in the concept of biological male, biological female. You were still born this, you were still born that. Obviously, that was a psychological method of repression that I used to hide my own gender identity, to masquerade, and to act like I was aloof about the whole thing, and just thought, the stereotypical system that we subscribe to nowadays, and have done for a very long time, is the norm for a reason, and we should just accept the gendered truth and all of this kind of stuff. I'm glad that I broke free from that mindset. Jamie and Lavender, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Note the use of there What about cases in which you cannot determine one's gender identity, i.e. a murder victim, and have no form of identification on hand? That would have to be a case-by-case basis, I guess. And how it should have been. What have I missed? There. Took your freshly baked bread out of the oven. DNA, I suppose. Now you have to wait for it to cool sufficiently for you to eat. Speaking of bread, I'm doing a damper stream soon. We're going to do a baking stream. We're going to do a cocktail stream soon with Calgar and Jacinta and my sister and my friend Jeffrey. And then, at some point soon, I'm going to do a baking stream. We're going to bake some damper on stream at some point. Damper being sort of a traditional Australian baked good. And I haven't made it in ages. I made it as a kid, and I would like to actually do it again. So I've got the kitchen space now that I could set up my laptop and bake for you lot if you were interested in that. Fucks me when I'm going to do it, by the way. Soon. And in most cases, when you see someone walk down the street and they have a pair of tits and long hair and feminine body, typically for better or worse, we assume they are female. Yes, generally speaking, and that's one of the hard issues that transgender people face. Like you could have a trans man who's still got breasts, for example, prominent breasts, and maybe large enough that they binding really doesn't help much. In that case, generally speaking, like I did this when I first came out. I wore a lot of baggy hoodies and stuff. I wanted to cover up my body because I felt like just disgusting. I wanted to add that air of androgyny to myself so people wouldn't look at an otherwise typically masculine body. And I think in a lot of cases, early transition, or if you can't afford the surgeries that you need and things like that. I mean, we know the surgery I want to get, which is down there. I'm not too fussed about my upper body, but I am still struggling very heavily with the masculinity of the musculature I have. So, and yeah, like the assumptions that people make where they look at a person and decide for themselves, that's a man and that's a woman. They decide someone's gender based on a number of different things. Again, I keep bringing this up every now and again. I keep bringing this up every now and again that I've seen what I would typically believe to be cis men, and I've met people that I typically would have believed would be cis men who've just got very feminine features and long hair and a rather lithe, otherwise dainty frame, and maybe they dress a little bit gender queer, gender fluid, maybe not like straight outright dresses, but kind of androgynous. And at a glance, you might assume that's a woman. And similarly, conversely, I've seen cis women who present typically masculine, who still identify as cis women. Still are cis, not identify as, who still are cis women. So the whole preconceptions of gender identity is a bit silly and ridiculous, if I'm honest. The big issue with the people who menstruate argument is that there are a lot of trans men who have been denied healthcare smear tests because they are men. Yeah, true. Like, it comes back to that whole, don't you need to go to, say, a gynecologist for those kinds of things? And you've got the TERFs who obviously want to keep transgender men out of gynecologists. Now that Vorsh is back on Twitch, I'd love to talk to Vorsh. I don't know what I'd talk to him about, but first he'd need to know I exist, which I don't believe he does. Romansky. But that'd be awesome, though. I'd like to talk to him. I'd like to talk to Hassan. I'd like to talk to Riley Grace Rochong. Like, there's a few people I'd like to talk to. But I need to get to a point where I have the clout necessary to reach out to these people. That'd be fucking sick, dude. What would we talk about would be the discussion. What would you discuss? What would I discuss with Vorsh? Let me think. Yes, down there in southern Australia, yes. That's why I say for better or worse, as far as unpopular opinions go, you can see it continuing to be the default purely because that's how the majority feel. Generally, yes, like that's just how it's going to be. And this is why, generally speaking, I've noticed, And honestly, Babbling Goat is an example of quite the opposite of what I'm about to say, but I've noticed a lot of trans people tend to present as the most typical version of the gender they want to be. I dress very feminine, like, all the time. Like, all of the time. I go as feminine as I possibly can. If I'm going out for the day, as opposed to just going to the shops, and even then, if I go to the shops, I'll put mascara on and lip gloss and just a little bit of femininity to the face. I don't go the full face of makeup unless I'm actually going out for a whole day event sort of thing. But my headbands, I keep my hair down, got my visible earrings. You gotta head out, Abby. Have a good one, Rena. Thank you so kindly for being here. I love your face. You know, I go out of my way to present in as feminine a manner as I possibly can, so that when people look at me, they'll automatically assume something, at the very least. They'll automatically try, hopefully, to clock me as femme. And similarly, trans men, I've seen, a lot of the trans men I've seen tend to skew heavily towards, honestly, the kind of style I used to have when I presented male. And, but there are, of course, certain folks who will transition and will choose their own presentation. They'll go which way they want to go with how they present themselves. And that can be a frightening thing to people who generally assign to the status quo, people who generally just do not buck trends, ironically. They're typically the kind of people who say, I'm a rebel, I do whatever I want, and then they do everything that everyone else does. You got your eyelashes dyed the other day. That's cool. I honestly want to try, I want to try the magnetic lashes you can get, like the actual stick-on lashes, but they're magnetic. You put an eyeliner on first, and then you stick the eyelashes to it, the fake lashes to it. I haven't been wearing fake lashes on stream. I've got a pair over there. I think I have a pair over there, in a container from when I was at, when I did my makeup with Beck. She put some fake lashes on me, and I got to keep them. You have them, they're amazing. I'm gonna have to give them a try at some point. How much are they? Let's have a look at how much money I'd be up for. I doubt they're cheap. I really doubt they're cheap. Oh, this one isn't too bad. $26.25, but this is, I imagine, America. American dollary-doos. You got yours from Amazon. Well, there we go. I could have a look at Amazon. I'll give that a gander later. Yeah, they're not cheap. You know, they are, generally speaking, reusable, though, for a bit. Until they wear out, I think. Do I agree with gender abolitionism? I've been memeing about it, but the deeper meaning behind gender abolitionism kind of eludes me at this point in time. I think we are in a very individualist society right now. Everyone wants to have their own identity. Everyone wants to live for themselves. They don't, like, we used to have a society where men were men and women were women for a gendered reason. Transgender people were still around, but the society that we used to have, it's hard to say exactly how long ago, there was a reason that the gender roles were there, in an ancient sense, is what I'm talking about. But in the current culture we have, you know, women are going to the office and men are being stay-at-home parents and baking and whatever else it is that, you know, traditional gender roles have been already thrown out the window. So in a sense, there's already a bit of gender abolitionism going on. Like you have, for example, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, had a child during her term, I think she's still the Prime Minister, of course. I think, during her term, she had a child, and her partner, her husband, has been the stay-at-home parent, which is bucking a traditional gender role trend. So I think in that regard, women who, go and work, and men who stay at home, and women who drive cars and the man doesn't, or what are some other traditional gender roles? I don't even fucking know, dude. The fact that I follow so many women bodybuilders who are absolutely cut to the bone and just ripped as all fuck. Another gender role that's been thrown out the window. They're not dainty little feminine lady girls. No, they're these strong women who can bench press heavier than I can, and all this kind of shit. You know, already there's so much in the gender role idea, in the concept of it, that's just doesn't exist anymore, and it hasn't existed for a while. So, which is why it's kind of weird that gender identity and being transgender and things like that are such a problem
Welcome
for
to
people.
the Rogue Room.
Keebri, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. Hope you're doing well. That's nothing. Boris Johnson had 7 children as Prime Minister, none of them with his partner or his wife. Gender abolition is a concept. Gender manifestation will never go away because the reason why we have gender is due to nature's way of creeping into our minds. Potentially. I think as society progresses, ideas shift and change. But there are a lot of things, you know, like, as you've mentioned, conservatism, Draco, you know, going back to the idea there's certain areas in the world where just the entire environment is as conservative as can possibly be. So those ideas, you know, as we might have more progressive ideas in, say, cities and certain areas of Australia and America and England and wherever else. Because I generally refer to the Western world when we're talking about this kind of stuff. It's just easier for me because I don't understand the society of every single culture on the planet, but I understand similar societies to my own, like America. The issue there is, you know, if you have a conservative environment, if you have a conservative township or conservative city or something like that where traditional gender roles are still heavily enforced, then it's going to be harder. It's going to take a lot longer to move away from those ideas. Do we necessarily need to? It's tricky. Due to your autism, you see the world the way a child would, so you can come across a rude or harsh when in reality you just make the most clinical way possible. I understand that. Hello, Eva, by the way. How you doing? One thing you never understood was your mum's parents had this thing where your grandpa would drive her to the grocery store, but men don't go in grocery stores, so he'd drop her off, then go to the bar. That's interesting. Hey, Cabri. How's it going? Cabri? The UK Queen drove the Saudi king to send a message. He was very surprised as in Saudi Arabia women... Oh yeah, I think I remember that. I think I remember that happening. Fellas, is it gay to buy milk? Better now that you can see my lovely face. Thank you. He was expecting a male driver in the UK. Should people at a certain height be cut off from basketball tournaments because they have an unfair genetic advantage? That comes all, like Roman, that comes all the way around back to the discussion we keep having about trans women in sports. The argument that is routinely used against trans women in sports is the genetic advantage, the unfair genetic advantage. This person spent this amount of time in their life on testosterone, now they've transitioned and they're going into women's sports kind of thing. And the reality of the situation is that basketball is one of those sports where genetic advantage is the name of the game. Like, you don't see basketball teams with typically short people. I think there was a basketball team that had a guy who was like 5'11", but generally speaking, they go for people who, you know, you can't control your height. You can do nothing to control your height. I mean, there are allegedly some things you can do, which involve breaking the bones in your legs and letting them heal, and you apparently can gain maybe a couple of millimeters of height, from what I've potentially heard. But yeah, generally speaking, like, basketball is just a great example of why, like, the genetic advantage argument makes no sense with the trans women in sports thing, because you've already got sports where the genetic advantage is clear and present. Eastern society will eventually take up individual ideologies. I don't know enough about Eastern society to make that judgment, honestly. I never understood that was long before cell phones. He'd have no idea when she was done shopping, so she might be sitting there for an hour or two before he comes back. Oh, God. Which is why your mum pushed so much to learn how to drive. That's kind of the thing that I worry about with my grandmother, actually. She can't drive. She has no capacity to drive. Both my grandparents are, like, my grandfather is 87, I think, and my grandmother is 90. And, like, what happens if my grandfather dies or has an accident where he can no longer drive? He's the driver of the pair. You know, what's going to happen when she can no longer get to the shops? She's very ill on her feet. She needs a walker to get around or a walking stick. She needs to hold onto someone's arm. Like, what's she going to do? That's something I worry about. It's a little bit more personal, but... You found a Pride sticker you might like. Send it to me. Send me a link. Other trans men are often allowed to compete with cis men, but only if they're not on T. Because that would be an unfair... Wait, what? Yeah... Bernard, like, I mean, I kind of, like... What? I mean, the argument there, of course, is that if cis men are competing with cis men and they're on testosterone, steroids, the base of steroids is testosterone. So that could be the argument that is made. But on the same token, it's like if you've got trans men who are not on testosterone, they're not transitioning medically, and they're going into those sports, then yeah, they're going to be decimated by the sheer physiological difference. But again, that's just how sports works as well. If you put a skinny dude in a martial arts matchup against a much bigger dude, now there's a reason that, like, for example, weight divisions exist in martial arts. There's a reason you don't put... Like, there's a reason a matchup of Dave Bautista and Rey Mysterio is actually a ludicrous concept if you break it down. Dave Bautista would absolutely the Mountain and the Hound... No, not the Mountain and the Hound. The Mountain and the Viper. Rey Mysterio sort of thing. I think there was actually a video. There was a video of the guy who played the Mountain on Game of Thrones doing a little sparring with Conor McGregor, and the Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, that's his name, Thor Bjornsson, could crush Conor McGregor in a heartbeat. He could do a chop to Conor McGregor's head that would kill him. You know, this is a man who broke the world deadlift record. You know, I think the whole trans sports thing was because of contact sport. If you have more testosterone in your body, you could potentially cause more harm to someone. That's your understanding. That's the argument they make. But notice how they routinely bring that argument to the channel of transgender women. I've been in numerous different transgender women. Oh, there's a little clip here that I wasn't using. That's supposed to make my... There we go. That's more like it. Anyway, can I do it? I probably could do a backflip on a trampoline if I tried. But yeah, you're right, Bernard. The whole argument is 9,000% pure transphobia. It's bullshit. So yeah, like I've said, I've had people come in. What do you, like last night or the night before? What do you think of Fallon Fox? What do you think I think of Fallon Fox? I don't give a fuck. I don't watch MMA. Why are you asking someone who doesn't watch MMA what I think of Fallon Fox? It's not my business. I don't care. And what do you think of transgender women in MMA? What do you think of transgender women in sports? Someone actually came in. It's like, what do you think of transgender women in my sport? I do mixed martial arts. I'm like, do I look like I fucking care? The fuck out of my chat. Because they don't, it's always, without fail, a bad faith argument. They always come in here just to get a transgender person talking about a topic that is designed to make them uncomfortable and designed to question them on their validity. As a woman, typically speaking, they'll approach transgender women and question the validity of their existence as a woman. That's all it's ever about. But they'll never admit that, and they'll think they've got a bunch of gotchas to say, oh, why don't you want to have this discussion? Why don't you want to answer this question? Because it's fucking stupid. That's the answer. Have I seen Hafthor standing with his two brothers? He's the short one. There's also the Dutch Giant. Have you seen the Dutch Giant on Instagram? He's fucking massive. We'll come back to the transphobes thing in a second. Yeah, abolish sports. They suck. I kind of agree. I feel inclined to agree. As someone who was originally considering getting into bodybuilding as a sport, but there's no such thing as bodybuilding as a sport. There's steroid bodybuilding as a sport, and I don't want to get into that. Oh, what was the link? Did I catch that link? Let me go back. What was the link? Etsy, D&D Rogue with a Cause. Ooh, hello. These are cute. Look at this. I like it. I'm gonna put that in my shopping bag. Let's talk about the transphobes. Let's have the discussion. You know what? I've used absolutely no stream markers tonight, but I feel like we've had a few good discussions that I could go back and make reasonable highlights from this one. Okay, let's have the discussion about why anyone who is homophobic, transphobic, or any of those things is referred to as a phobia. Doubt they cower in fear at transgender people's presence? No, they don't, but they are afraid of us moving up in society. The intent fear that phobic people have of queer people. We'll just stick with that as an example, but there are other phobias in the same vein. Xenophobia, for example, with regards to people's race. The reason that we call it a phobia, and yeah, you're right, like, are they cowering in fear? No, not necessarily. Are they killing us out of fear? Yes. You know, if you hear about a transgender woman, if you hear about the incident that happened while Black Lives Matter was going on, there were 3 trans women walking on Hollywood Boulevard, and they were jumped by a bunch of transphobes, and they were assaulted. One of them ended up in the hospital. That was a fear move. They were afraid of them. They don't understand them, and as a result, they lash out and they cause harm. So they don't want to try and understand why this is. They don't want to try to unpack their own fears. They are more comfortable with the idea that they are superior to those people that they're actually legitimately terrified of. The trans panic defense, which Riley Grace Strong is trying to rescind. Trans panic and gay panic and all this. Let's look at the trans panic defense. The so-called gay and trans panic defenses are legal strategies in which, according to the American Bar Association, seek to partially or completely excuse crimes such as murder and assault on the grounds that the victim's sexual orientation or gender identity is to blame for the defendant's violent reaction. Research by the Williams Institute shows that no state recognizes gay and trans panic defenses as freestanding defenses under their respective penal codes, but defendants have used panic defenses in conjunction with other defense strategies to attempt to reduce the severity of their charges or sentencing. So the idea, of course, I didn't actually switch to the scene, so you didn't even get to see the page, which is very unfortunately called MAP, the Movement Advancement Project. But let's just ignore that whole part. It doesn't strictly denote fear. It can also simply denote aversion, as in hydrophobic in biochemistry. Yes, exactly. But in this specific social example, it is a psychological fear that they have. There's a lot of layers to this. For example, one of the arguments that was used against gay men in the 80s was that they were going to go into men's restrooms and rape other men, for example. Similarly with lesbians, the whole butch lesbians are going to break into women's restrooms and rape the women. So there is that fear they have. They feel victimized. Transphobes, homophobes, and all of that feel victimized by the existence of people of divergent sexual and gender identities because it doesn't fit with their preconceived norm of the way the world works. When they're confronted with things that challenge their viewpoints about the way the world works, about identity, about sexuality, then it does become a fear response. They start intrinsically finding ways to unpack, like to nitpick at the reality of someone who is gay, at someone who is trans. They'll find every single hole that they can try to poke. This is why people like Joe Rogan are so dangerous when they keep bringing up the trans women in sports thing. It's like, it's a fear response. It is a fear response. It's a fear response on the idea, like the straw man that they make, that all of these women all these transgender women that are transitioning, that might be athletic, that might be interested in athletics, going into women's sports are going to destroy, what's it called? I'm trying to think. I've got the word in my head. They're going to destroy women's sports and it's going to be overrun by men is the fear in that example. Yeah, I think that's the point. I think that's a good way to describe it. I think I lost my train of thought there for a bit. I was a bit distracted. But you get the gist, right? It's hatred it's fear masquerading as hatred. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Star Wars has some good lines, occasionally. Seen them try to use this twice and it's so sad. Do you mean, Kiyamami, do you mean the gay trans panic defense, not pride defense? You're tired, you might go to bed, Fox. Have a good one. Have a good rest. Joe Rogan died in Minecraft. Joe Rogan played Minecraft? Used to be in that camp because he was so deep in the closet you turned it around into homophobia. You play tennis but haven't since you transitioned. I think I might just say to Roman, if you're still there, sorry you got timed out. I think maybe you were making a reference to Volsh's video, which was very funny. Maybe I'll untime you out for that one because I think that's what you were getting at. No, not timed out. How do you untime out? Ah. There we go. I get the suspicion that's what you were trying. Yeah, you got to time someone out for 1 second. Yeah, that's how you do it. When am I going to stream Fortnite? Actually, legitimately, not even a word of a lie. If I hit 1,000 subscribers, not even kidding. I know it's a ridiculous goal, but if I actually do at some point manage to hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll do it. I'll play Fortnite. Unironically. I know it's really far off, but it's a possibility, is the thing I'm getting at here. Will I play Pigeon Simulator? Yes, the fuck I will. That looks amazing. Fucking Pigeon Simulator. Let me bring up the trailer in a sec. It's one of your greatest regrets that you used to be such a hateful asshole. Yeah, like I didn't even realize the depth of my own internalized transphobia until I came out, really. I was one of those people. I'm going to freely admit my flaws. I'm going to be an open book here. I was one of those people who was like, they should develop a medicine for trans people that makes them emotionally feel like the body that they were born in is the right one, sort of thing. And I'm obviously glad that didn't turn out to be the case. I actually unironically did used to think we need a cure for autism. Autism has ruined my life. I probably would have fell in line with Autism Speaks and all that kind of shit. And it takes a lot of introspection and a lot of looking at the bigger picture and looking at all the real issues and looking at all the different perspectives before you begin to realize those are some really fucking genocidal viewpoints to take. Trying to extinguish groups of people. Blows your mind that people are like this though. Your parents are very Catholic and you're from Poland, which is a very homophobic and just horrible place to live as a minority. You're lucky enough to live in the UK and able to express yourself a bit better. Well, that's good at least. Yeah, it's kind of baffling just how homophobic Poland is. There was a big thing about that recently. Is this description for a minigun great? The weight of the gun is not the only thing you'll have to bear when it's done. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What kind of games do I play? Who asked that? There was a case of a trans woman whose friends killed her and tried to use that defense. It's fucking disgusting. Despicable. What sort of games do I play? I'm a very big fan of the Souls games. Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. I have to platinum Sekiro at some point because the other four I've platinum trophied on my PlayStation, and I would like to go back and platinum Sekiro. I'm keen on Elden Ring whenever that comes out. In other complete departure from that, Minecraft, Stardew Valley. I probably would have enjoyed Animal Crossing if it wasn't so stupidly designed with its save system. I think my children should be able to have their own islands on my Switch without me needing to buy another Switch and another copy of the game. I've played Dark Souls Remastered, yeah. Let me think. What else? Ghost of Tsushima is one I've been genuinely enjoying. I'm just looking over there where my games are. You can see them just behind the guitar. Ghost of Tsushima is one that I've really enjoyed, but I haven't gotten around to finishing. I'll remaster. No, is it a mod or are you just fucking with me? Yeah, it's so fucking annoying the way the Nintendo Switch. It's obviously designed to be a system seller, like a new mod. All right, I'll have to give that a look. And I do plan on at some point in the not too distant future playing a Dark Souls 3 with Grizzly Gaming 86, who we raided last night. Who's a legend? He's a fucking legend. I'm gonna give him a shout out right now. And similarly, because they stopped by before, we'll give a shout out to Babbling Goat, who's awesome. What else? Labour aren't left is why. Starmer is Blairite, and that makes him neoliberal, which is just another right-wing viewpoint. That's the major problem with the political systems that we have at present, is the majority of the leadership, the majority, especially like two-party systems. America's got a two-party system, obviously. Australia virtually runs on a two-party system. What the fuck was that?
Under the table action never went astray.
What the fuck? What was that just came up? That's not something I... Thank you, Yarrow, for your contribution of $10 to the Rogue Group. What the fuck was that? I don't have gifts. What in the fucking world? Streamlabs, did you give me a GIF? Or did you somehow do that? What the fuck? Hacked by China. What the fuck is going on? Was that a pledge? I suppose that probably
Thank you
counts
for
as a pledge.
supporting the Rogue Room's business endeavors.
Oh my goodness, and John pledged 21 via Patreon. Thank you so kindly. Oh my goodness gracious me. And the font color is wrong as well. That one. It's a bug? That's weird. That's very weird. I'm not a fan of that. Damn it, Botwick, you cunt. Agreed. Botwick is Jarvis in disguise. Yeah, I'm gonna vote Greens next election. Fingers crossed.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room, Queen Kitty Girl. Thank you so kindly for joining us here. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out. Been good vibes tonight. So what happens when Labour adopts a platform in line with Jacinda Ardern over the last 5 years? The entire state propaganda machine goes into overdrive against them, yes. Reminds me of like the obscene advertising budget that the current leading party in this country has been spending. The cunts, good way to put it, the people, the liberal government that we're under has spent so much money on advertising, and they're in charge. They're in charge. How are you, Queen Kitty Girl? How you doing? Because our media is also right-wing. Basically, Turf Island is entirely right at this point, and the left is fucked. Yeah, that's why I'd be terrified to live there. That's why I'm so proud of Abigail Thorne for being so bold to come out like that. Like she said, she's now one of the most visible trans people in the country. You know, the trans princess of Turf Island. It's... yeah. And I'm hoping that, you know, someone of her size, of her voice, can potentially sway and influence some people to change the way that they think and the way that they behave, I guess. You know, try to push people left, push people away from transphobia. You voted Greens since you could vote with Labour as second. I think that's generally how I vote too at the moment. Well, Greens in Australia, not Greens in the UK. For the record, I'm Australian. There is a Greens party here in Australia. Falling asleep, have doctors in the morning, radio feast. Thank you so kindly for being here. I appreciate you so much. You lost a lot of respect for Greens in the UK when Labour adopted huge amounts of their platform. The Greens turned on it immediately. They're happily left-wing with their one MP. They turn on a dime to stop the government with their own professed ideals from forming. You've been arguing with TERFs all morning. That's so annoying. I hate arguing with TERFs. It's the same cyclical arguments over and over again. You can't change their minds. They're so rooted in their silly beliefs. Hope she can make it easier for you to get hormones. She's doing a lot of campaigning. Well, that's good. Country you live in, you would say is right-wing. They have an idea that one race is more deserving to stay in a land. That's definitely right-wing. That is very, very right-wing. Again! What the fuck? How does that happen?
A little under the table action never went astray. Trans rights.
Trans rights. Thank you so kindly. What is that? Is that a dono?
A little under the table action never went astray.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
This is a test donation for 66 Australian dollars.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I tested a donation.
A little under the table action never went astray.
John, okay.
This is a test donation for 51 Australian dollars.
Okay, I'm just testing it now. It's doing it, yeah, okay, it's bugged out like crazy. What the fuck is going on? Picked it using Streamlabs Pro. Oh, I see. That's a thing you can do? Trans lefts. Trans lefts. Trans lefts for trans rights. The GIF is selected from the title text, are you sure? Well, Yara says they picked the GIF. There we go. That's okay. I'll let it slide, whatever. I don't typically have GIFs on stream. I wonder if that changes if I assign it. No, I was testing it. I can keep doing it. I can go test resub.
Thank you for your membership.
Look, I just joined.
Enjoy all the delights of the subscriber lounge.
Let's test another donation. What's it gonna say?
Action never
$76.
went astray. This is a test donation for 76 Australian dollars.
All out $76. Can be proven by looking at your passport instead of saying Homelander. It says Asian, which is bullshit. You were born here. Why am I not called Homelander when another race is? That's unusual. Remember when turf meant land? Yes. TURF. It's a form of soil, form of fake grass that you put on your... Well, not fake grass. I think it's used to grow new grass. Twitch took one look at you and went, yep, gay flag. I need the gay stuff. I need more gay stuff to decorate my room with. Like, I can do this. This is pretty gay. We can go super gay with that. That's kind of gayish. You can't see all the colors, though. Like I can. What a pain that is. This channel is my turf. If we fire turfs into space, they'll be astro turfs. Oh, fuck. Homelander is pretty fashy in the boys. I think that's the point, isn't it? Yeats glitter. Don't get glitter all over my room. Goodness gracious me. Did you guys hear the story about the lady who used craft glitter on her eye makeup and got a flake of glitter in her eye and it like wormed its way behind her eye, got caught there and got infected and she had to have her eye removed? Whole thing. Don't use craft glitter near your eyes. Just a layer of soil and grass often rolled to make lawns easier. Yeah, that's basically it. Make your lawns out of moss. If you're lucky to have a lawn, that is. What's the benefit to moss? But yeah, there was some I'm not going to show it on stream. You can look it up if you want. Like, look up lady who lost her eye to craft glitter. And there's a gross like progression of pictures from like when she realized it's infected, and then
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Kia, mommy. I swear you followed, but welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Native language is called Bumipitera. Translated, it's called Homelander. I see. I haven't seen any of the boys. It looks good. I've been meaning to give it a look, but I don't have Amazon's service. Oh, maybe I do actually. I bought something on there and they gave me a month of Amazon Prime, I think, or something. So maybe I did. Maybe I can watch it. I don't know. I'm super fucking tired, dude. Holy heck. Yeah, I swear you did follow. Maybe it's just bugged out. Let me quickly check something over here. Oh my goodness. How's I'm checking my content creation goal over here. Checking everything else. Let's get rid of the gay trans panic defense bands. There we go. Another one. Contribution of $1. Thank you, Yarrow.
Action never went astray. Test.
Where is that going to? It must be going to PayPal then. I imagine. Gonna go on PayPal while I'm on stream. Fuck it, why not? Got my dead name email as my access email to my PayPal account, which is really stupid. Don't like that. Yes, okay, it's working. Good. I recently changed mine to a business PayPal to hopefully stop sending out my personal details right into Bezos' pocket. Well, that would be the subs. Yeah, it's like 23:37 p.m. 23:38. It's 11:38 p.m. at night. Oh, Botwick has gained sentience. I think it's because I gave them a gender. Can I can I go into the Chrome extension? Give me the pronouns thing for a second. Let's try something here. I'm gonna try something here. Auto chat pronouns. I mean, yeah, my YouTube channel has the dead name. Yeah, I don't think I can change that. Does Botwick have the right to vote now? Well, Botwick is now non-binary. Not that one. This one. Go to... Wait, does it have my dead name? I know my Facebook page does. Don't play my video. Don't play my video, you silly bitch. Shut the fuck up, Jesus. I don't think my YouTube channel has my dead name in it. Anyway that I can see. Look at the URL. The URL just says rogue bitch. I got a custom URL. Shut up! Me? I got a custom URL. Which should say my current username. You have to be trans to have a dead name. Well, I mean, not really. If you change your name and you don't like the old name, you can consider that your dead name. So, let's log in with Twitch. Not that one. No, oh, okay. I was going to set the chat pronoun badges for Botwick, but I'd have to log out, which would disconnect my account from it. So, yeah, I would argue that you can have a dead name that's, if you're not transgender, technically. But, excuse me.
Another round.
Oh my god,
on
Yarrow.
you.
1,000 bits, holy freaking heck. How are you seeing the old channel name in the URL? How do I go to my... Oh, Botwick typed you out. Yeah, that's weird that happens. Why does that happen? Because I've set it to Rogue Bitch, and that's the way you can access the channel. I don't know why it does that. That's really weird. Branding. It's not anywhere else on the channel. That's unusual that it does that, because yeah, everything is set to my current username. Oh, heck. I'm tired. I think I might call it early. Run a country, you mean company. Bill Gates is much richer now than he ever was when he actually ran Microsoft. They are richer than some small countries. I do remember the incident. I forget who it was that said it, but there was someone on television, a conservative type, who was talking about this is not the way you run a country. I forget what the exact context was. It was something about something. I don't know. But it was kind of fucking hilarious. Anywho, I think I'm going to call it there because oh my goodness, Yarrow, thank you. I saw that come up on coffee. Thank you so kindly. You guys are treating me so good. I don't deserve this. Who can we raid tonight? I know we're like 20 minutes before the end of stream, but I'm depleted. I think I've exhausted my energy levels. We didn't even really talk all that much about sociology, but we did talk about certain concepts regarding sociology. And your girl is going to be studying soon. I would raid Pixel, but she's got 470 viewers. It feels redundant. Feels redundant. I mean, Plotsky's playing Final Fantasy VII. Calgar, you know, let's return the favor to Calgar, unless he's ending. Let's return the favor to Calgar. And then tomorrow we'll pick someone new and exciting. Raid the Lost Ark. What is this game I'm being shown? Is this Genshin? There's an ad playing, so I can't even like see if he's ending his stream or not. I gotta wait until... How's every snail doing today? Hey, Haley Snaily. What's going on? We're just about to call it because I'm so fucking tired. Yeah, let's go raid Calgar. Let's go give Calgar some love. Because I haven't really been playing games with him lately, so it feels like it'd be a nice idea to send a raid his way instead. Because, you know, previously we have been streaming...
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Non-binary by heart. Hope you're having a good one. Sit down, grab a drink, and join us as we go and raid my friend Andrew Calgar. He's playing some Cyberpunk 2077. Let's get his thoughts on the politics of Cyberpunk 2077. But yeah, appreciate you all being here. It's been lovely. I'll be live again tomorrow night. 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. If you've not already followed me on my socials, I have Twitter, Instagram, and you can join my Discord. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I will be uploading some highlights from tonight's stream, hopefully. I've been really bad with the highlights lately. I need to really like hook into that and get those done. Because I want to be trying to upload highlights at least every day again. And I also do video essays. I've got one coming up on February 14th. I got 10 days to cram and get it done. An assignment I've given myself. But, also, I have an outro scene that I'm not using, so I might do that. I'm also going to once everything's sort of chilled out a bit with this current video essay I'm doing, I'm focusing most of my otherwise energy on that. I'm going to overhaul my graphics and give them a nice little trans kick. Thank you so kindly for joining me, everybody. It has been a delight to have you, and I'll see you when I'm looking at you.